Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 154.
That sounds somewhat correct-ish.
It's a scorching hot day. We're down in the basement. We're going to talk about wrestling, some that we saw even in person.
And we are 2 weeks away from approximately our 3-year mark.
That's correct. 3 years of coming down here and doing this.
Yeah, so also with it being summer, if anyone has any ideas for something,
Yeah,
then we can do that.
we got a few people
Specifically,
that...
I guess, Ghost Jam, because they seem to say things.
Yeah.
So if you would like to tell me to do a thing, then
He'll do it.
tell me to do something. And also this guy, too.
Yeah, Ghost Jam contacted
like
and we
that.
just missed meeting up with somebody. That would have
Yeah.
been cool.
That would have been interesting.
Because we were at Forbidden
I
Door
always
and
forget
so
the
was he.
stickers, though, so it's like...
He was there for the dark match. That I was like, we had a parking situation and we were butts in seats at 6:57. I think
pretty
it
much
was.
nailed it, though.
3 minutes ahead of time.
I think it was either that or like we were in our seats. It's like right on, bang on almost.
I wasn't enjoying driving around looking for parking.
But you love driving in the city.
I do love driving in the city.
your
I don't mind
favorite?
driving in the city. I don't like when I don't. I even looked up a parking lot ahead of time.
Yeah,
put it
I thought
in
we were gonna
Google,
be fine. Like I thought you had it figured out.
And then from the way we came in, couldn't access that. And then we pulled into another one, not noticing that
Yeah,
there were several closed.
Toronto kind of dumb.
So it was interesting. But we got there.
I definitely
will-
don't think I'd want to live in Toronto. Actually, I might, but probably I'd rather not.
Live in Toronto. I like visiting it. I
I like visiting.
It's a
it,
great
but I
city to
don't-
visit.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to live there. I'd like to live maybe adjacent to it.
Yeah.
That'd be okay.
So I figure most of our
to live
banter
in
can
Vaughan.
be stuff we experience without, because we are going to review and break down the show Forbidden Door. That
and
is,
the rematch of the century.
so we'll talk about that. But like any other things you want to discuss when we were there, did you want to discuss
I wanted
the people beside us? That was interesting.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna apparently, guys, I have to break the news to you. I'm apparently
that was a
I'm-
word that was used.
I
Yes.
didn't know, but
Shouldn't use that
apparently
word.
I am. That's the case. But yeah, so it was awesome. Like even when they were previewing the match cards before, or the match card before the pre-show,
Yeah.
they put the Punk graphic on and just the place boos,
Booed.
and I loved it
These
so
two
much.
were Punk fans.
And they were uber Punk fans, or at least the one guy who wasn't
they both were.
blackout drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
happened.
one guy fell down the stairs there too. You told me, so
Yep.
I didn't see that, which kind of
Yeah, so they were calling us directly names a couple. The further guy, the guy that was drunk, the sober guy was trying to rein him in. So yes, because we were.
Oh, I thought it was the guy next to you.
No, he was the one who was like, "Stop! You can't say that." When he
Really?
called us a gay slur as well first.
Well, I guess that makes sense if he was drinking
But-
so much.
yeah,
Right.
and then
It was funny. Yeah, they love Punk a ton, and then when he came out, he had to play heel. It was so good. I loved it so much, and that's why we love Toronto.
and then they made a plan to go to the washroom for the women's match, and I actually had to use the washroom. It wasn't a plan. I wasn't trying to avoid the women's match. So since they were going to make our row stand up, I decided I would just go with them
Yeah,
and go to the washroom
and-
quick. And the drunk one, fell down probably like 6-7 steps of the Scotiabank, which is it's steep there, which is good because the seats, right? Like the people in front of you can fully stand up. and
Yeah,
they're not in
that's
the
why I
way.
liked it. Even though it was kind of far, it was good enough to see everything.
But we were in probably the maybe 10th or 15th row from the very top of the arena, and I thought our seats were fine. I
Yeah.
totally had no complaints.
It's one of those things where we can also kind of see all around the ring, right? Like
I
from
just
far
tried to
away.
get centered as much as I could, and then I didn't really care.
Yeah, we were a little close to the stage, which actually was kind of okay for taking entrance videos.
Yeah, it was a very fun show. And then I don't know, we ate overpriced popcorn and drank some water.
Yeah. And I was almost got a Bullet Club Gold shirt, but they only had it
At
on
one
the
level,
bottom level.
on the lower level.
I swear, next time we go into there, I'm gonna we can merch right away. You go right for it, and then
Right. The over
if you get there early enough.
if you
Obviously,
do-
we
yeah,
didn't. But,
right. And they overpriced their t-shirts. That is one thing I will say.
Yeah.
60 Canadian dollars for a t-shirt.
Yeah, I got a Canadian New Japan shirt, and then I got the Forbidden Door hoodie, which is pretty sweet.
The hoodie was nice, and
I
the
like
markup on that seems much less than the $60 t-shirt. So,
No United Empire shirts, so couldn't support
No.
Ospreay, which kind of sucked. But
and I didn't get
That's
nothing
okay.
really grabbed me, so I didn't get any.
I thought you were gonna get
merch.
the New Japan one.
Thought about it, but I didn't like the back of it.
I didn't love it, but I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
New Japan.
Yeah.
Something.
But yeah, that was the most of our eventfulness of the week. I guess you finished all your exams. It's officially summer vacation here, and you're just saying you're already bored. So that's not good.
This has been one of the slowest weeks of my life.
That's crazy.
It's just It's like obviously like it's early on, so I don't care too much. But it's like already on a like a Groundhog Day kind of thing.
That's when you're gonna want to get your driver's license, fella, and
Yeah,
get
but
out
what
there.
am I gonna do? Drive to go buy more food? Like,
Just drive anywhere. Drive to
mm,
walk around the mall. Drive to do
I'll
anything.
just get.
I don't know.
Actually, I do want to do that soon. Just
But
get
this is
dropped
why I
off
want you
at
to
the
have more
mall.
hours at work. If you're gonna be bored, you may as well be making money.
Well, today I was basically just bored at work, so at that point, I'd rather just stay home if you're
But
gonna
you're
pay.
professionally bored. You're getting paid to be bored.
I'm gonna pay. I
That's the
guess, but
best.
like even still, I don't know. I do like kind of want more hours, but not. Well, I'm not gonna complain about more hours, but I don't really want because work's not. It's not fun. I want to like
Have fun.
do something of
Well, I'm
entertainment.
trying to say
Like,
we go to
hopefully
Wonderland.
people.
We go to Wonderland at some point soon.
Hopefully people come back too.
People come back.
The people down the street.
Oh yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They're back in a couple days. Yeah, there are
I
two
wanted
families
to
we
s-
hang out with all
I
the
wanted to
time.
swim yesterday and also today, but
Today is
not
hot.
here. Maybe we'll see if
Crazy. Yeah, when they get back.
Hudson, Thomas, Colin, Christie is
Yeah,
not here or here. Yes.
you can. That doesn't matter to me.
Mhm.
We're gonna watch whatchamacallit tonight. Money in the Bank is tonight. We're
It's
recording
actually
this on
as we
Saturday.
speak. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
we'll do our predictions still. They will still stand because I've locked mine in and you're spoiler free.
I am.
So
I live my life spoiler free.
our picks will still stand. I'm not sure the point of listening to them will be, but they will still take place.
Yes.
Nonetheless,
They will happen. We'll make predictions as it's happening now.
Yeah.
But anyways,
it might even be over by the time we get there. I'm not sure because it's already like they're almost 2 hours deep,
Yes, they are. They usually go.
and they're
what,
usually
3 or
not
4.
but they're usually not that long.
We were 5 hours at Forbidden Door, 7 to midnight, basically. Right?
Pretty good,
Yeah, it was fun. Anyways, we should probably get into actual wrestling talk.
probably.
We'll sneak Forbidden Door in, add it to all the other stuff. But what we usually start out with is going to be some discussion of the week's wrestling news and rumors. Okay, ratings this week. NXT averaged 622,000 viewers down. Remember, numbers for both were really good last week, so this sounds down a lot. Down 19.5%.
Oh yeah, because that was the other Gold Rush, right?
That's right.
Baron Corbin's a big draw. Yeah.
Huge. Not quite as big as Seth Rollins, perhaps, though. And earned a 0.17 in the key demographic, down 26.1. Their ratings were down in every demographic from the previous week, the biggest drop being with females 12 to 34, which was down 45.5%.
Seth Rollins has new side plates again.
Nice. I did track Collision for the second week. I don't know if I'll keep doing it, but at least there was something comparable now because they've had 2 episodes. So it drew 595,000 viewers, down 27.1%, and earned a 0.21 in the demo, down 36.4. So a pretty steep drop off, right, from week 1. Dynamite also down 809,000 viewers overall, which is down just over 10%, and a 0.24 in the key demo, which is down over 27%. Lowest demo rating the show has done on a Wednesday night since, June 2020. So actually going back a fair ways.
In the mick.
So it seems like last week was like a peak high watermark, and then it's just sort of come back down to earth from there for all of those shows, it looks like. What do you have? I only have 3 things. You thought, and I both thought the news was kind of weak this week.
So Lesnar is reportedly set to return Money in the Bank and set up a third match with Cody, which fueled rumors of Cody and Dom main eventing, but I don't think that's the case.
I hope not. Doesn't seem right.
That seems. I could have seen them doing that like in a weird way, but I don't think that's smart. I don't think they did, thankfully.
No.
But yeah, so Lesnar probably, and also I've also heard murmurs of them trying to get McIntyre to come back.
Oh yeah.
And I have no comments on that.
You have no. What do you mean? Just cause?
Just because I see spoilers and stuff.
Oh, I got you. I thought you were like philosophically opposed to discussing it or something.
No, I know I like Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay. What do I have here? A new report
I only have one more.
Has details that apparently you're going to have more interactions between Raw and SmackDown people with NXT and vice versa. So like kind of more going back and forth.
So wait, to clarify, does
Mhm.
that mean, so you mean like just main roster people going to NXT? Or does that mean Raw and SmackDown people come, like...
It says vice versa, right? So that to
wait,
me...
like Raw and SmackDown people interacting?
I think they mean Raw and SmackDown interact. It's not written super clearly, right? I think they're saying Raw and SmackDown interacting with NXT.
Okay, so that's fine because I was just clarifying because if Raw and SmackDown are
Brand
interacting,
split, they're officially going.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
it's wild card rules back,
Yeah.
Something like
No,
that.
no.
So no, that makes sense then.
Because it's not the clearest headline, and that basically they're...
Although I don't think that really makes NXT seem like a third brand if that was their goal.
they're trying to raise the ratings there, and trying to create this article was saying, like, it's an unpredictable place where anyone can show up. So you want to watch every week because you don't know who could show up from main roster, which I get, right? And
Yeah,
so
but
far I haven't hated it.
then because you know how they wanted to make it like a third brand. Then to me, like then that doesn't really make it like a third brand because if anyone can go there, because I guess it is a third brand, but like
Yeah.
the both brands like have their own rosters, so shouldn't NXT also have its own roster?
Right.
Other than like like Ali go in there, I get because he's a free agent.
But I don't know if they're
and, like,
saying it's a
Corbin.
third equal brand.
I guess
They're saying it's a third brand. So it's still
I
developmental.
guess then it could. Then I don't know why they need to make it feel like a brand. They can just say it's a brand and then
I guess.
be like it's a lower level.
And apparently they were impressed, obviously, with the ratings that Rollins got when he came. But, like, not everybody's Rollins, right? So
Yeah, and not everyone's like coming with a title match.
Right. So, anyways, the plan is I think we'll continue to see stars coming
As long
from the
as
big
it
shows.
makes sense, and you're not bringing like someone who sucks.
Like, I haven't minded
No-
Corbin. I haven't minded Mustafa. Like, Dana Brooke, whatever. I don't
Yeah,
need to see
Apollo
her
was
anywhere.
solid for a while.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Um.
Dabakato, genius. No, just kidding. No.
Yeah.
They showed a
That's
bunch of
crazy.
highlights of him from Raw Underground this week because they're having that match with Kemp and... Is it Kemp? Who is it?
It's Kemp and
Thorpe?
yeah, Thorpe.
Yeah, the segments with Thorpe this week were cheesy. Segment 1, I guess.
It was funny. I was watching one of the Stash Club quizzes again.
Oh yeah, I gotta
and
check those out still.
Yeah, I think you'd like them, and also you'd suck at the quizzes. Big
For
time.
sure I would. Even though I watched all of it firsthand.
I rewatched like their quiz about the Mick era, as they call it, because
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't like the word pandemic.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was or something. But anyways, like the Thunderdome era kind of, and so they were talking about NXT. And, like, so one of the questions was like all the members of Diamond Mine, and so I had all of them. And I was like, who's the last one? And I was like, oh, Damon Kemp. Like I forgot he was in Diamond Mine because like I got the originals. Like I remember the original lineup really well because it was Roddy, Tyler Russ,
Yep.
Hachiman, and Malcolm Bivens, right?
Yep.
And then they had Creeds and Ivy Nile, obviously. Then I was like, I totally gapped on Damon Kemp because
he was in there.
I would argue he's the most forgettable one.
Probably.
Because like I remember
he didn't do anything with them.
Well,
really.
you probably remember Tyler Russ more because I mention it every other week.
I am constantly reminded of Tyler Rust and his amazingness.
Yeah, I love Tyler Rust.
You do.
But yeah, anyways, that was interesting. So and it feels like his heel turn was a while ago too. I think it was at Worlds Collide. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which was like September.
Sounds right. Yeah.
So anyways, I'm just funny because I forgot he was in Diamond Mine ever.
Yeah, he's a good heel actually.
And he came to NXT UK. I remember he was like drinking with Wolfgang, and it was really weird.
He has much more potential than his brother, from what I've seen.
Yeah,
so far.
I actually saw saw some news thing about his their plans for him. I didn't read it because I don't really care.
I think I'll talk about it in Highspots and Restholds. I think his little segment comes up.
Yeah.
But anyways. Apparently, I know this is going to be a shocking headline to you. Vince McMahon interfering in WWE storylines leading to frustration.
I saw the 1 week that people liked it. I don't think it was this week. I think it was like last week or the week before.
And that's the second bullet I had here, was that a source from within WWE is noting that Vince interfering isn't necessarily like always a bad thing.
Yeah, I saw like it was positive the 1 week.
It's like people are frustrated by it happening, right? Because it would be frustrating.
Yeah.
So, but the example they were citing that in the hours before the June 23rd SmackDown came out, Vince changed 3 matches that were scheduled. So Shotzi versus Bailey was removed, Corbin versus Grimes was removed, and Knight versus Escobar versus Butch was changed to Knight Mysterio.
Interesting, because this week, like yesterday, we got Bailey versus Shotzi, and I told you about Escobar, Butch, and LA Knight. So we got that.
Postponed it, I guess.
Which is interesting. And I think that worked better because I think they gave Butch a hometown kind of win because he's British, right? So
yeah,
that made sense. So I think that kind of works better, but I just think it's kind of funny. They were like, oh, we'll just put it this week.
Right. So it seems like Vince is definitely involved, and some people are okay with it, and I imagine some are not.
I think it kind of depends on A, like how soon it is, which I'm assuming it's pretty last minute,
and B, whether you're
what he's.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess
you're the
like,
one getting pushed
from their perspective. Yeah, who's getting in, and then also depends on what he's booking, just in general.
Yeah.
At least from my perspective,
it
would depend on what he's putting in.
I only have one more.
The only other one I have was Creed brothers are rumored for a call up to the main roster ahead of that lose or lose match. Like I don't think it's a foregone like conclusion that the Dyad lose.
I got spoiled on that match, so I know.
Yeah,
because it's already recorded, and I didn't want to.
yeah.
But
So that's what I was reading in the news thing. It looked like
I don't want to say, but
spoilers. I kind of want to talk about it. So
if you don't want to know who's gonna
just
win,
skip to the next segment.
just give us like a few minutes.
Or yeah, give us a few minutes.
Uh,
Yeah. So what was it?
So the
was
Creeds
just
lose.
looking. Yeah,
is what
it
I
was
saw.
like some interference from some random person, right?
Well, that
and
I didn't know.
Joe Gacy got ejected. So I think I can't find the thing now.
Because I just saw the headline and I was annoyed that I got spoiled, and then I didn't look at it any further.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. I assume that means their main route. They have to leave
Yeah.
NXT, right? So
yeah. So and then they could maybe take Javi now with them, and then I could see.
they're not ready character promo wise, more than ready wrestling wise.
I would hope that means we could maybe get GYV because they don't seem to be like. I don't really care because I don't really care if they're going soonish because I mean also October's a few months away, so even if we get GYV now, that gives us a few months with them and maybe they stay. I doubt it, but maybe. And
they've been really good lately. I've
plus,
enjoyed.
I would
their
like
stuff.
GYV there anyways because I feel like once they go, I don't know where they're gonna end up, and if they go back to the UK Indies,
We'll never see
when's
them.
the next time I'm gonna see
Right.
them? Right. So I hope we get some of the good GYV before they go.
Right.
If they go.
Yeah, they're
so
cool.
yeah, it seems like they would.
They definitely are
They're staying.
turning back away from the dyad and into.
Yeah, my only it's funny because James Drake looks normal now.
He
He
does.
looks exactly like James Drake. He grew back the beard. He got rid of his contacts. But Jack
Gibson's
Gibson
look silly
still looks like a dork. He
Yeah.
looks like a combination between someone with a big nose, I don't know,
Yeah.
and Kane.
Kane.
Is
Yeah.
like his lack of facial hair
Unmasked
makes his
Kane.
nose. Yeah, like Kane, like with the contacts too. Like he just looks like a complete goober.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
Rip Fowler is just horrible. When I was there when you were watching the Schism segment, just like it bothered me so much every time I hear them when
Yes.
Ava's like Jagger, and I'm like, no, it's just I know that's been their names for a while. But, it's just like I don't usually hear it, so it's just
That was
so
not a good
horrible to
segment
hear.
either.
It's,
Did not enjoy that.
Wasn't great.
My final one is that it's been reported a few places probably by now that Orton's on his way back to WWE sooner than later, could even make a surprise appearance at Money in the Bank. So I guess
How many surprise appearances? Why is Cena there?
it's basically been over a year, right? Stop getting spoilers. Stop looking at your phone. Been gone over a year with a back injury. So even there was some talk, right? Like he was never coming back, which I don't really ever believe, but there was some talk of that. But anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So that is all for news and rumors, yes?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
And I guess next we'll get into, we'll go quickly through, I don't know, I'm going to try and access someone else's notes because obviously I don't have any because we were there, but we'll talk quickly about last weekend's AEW New Japan Wrestling Forbidden Door. All right, so I'm going to try and use, looks like Bleacher Report's little thing here. We'll see, because sometimes they just put highlights, which is all I really want. I don't want to, it's been about a week, so I don't want to go over it like move for move anyways. But anything on the what was it called? The
0 hour.
0 hour that I did not see, who was it? The women's match, Athena and Billy Starks.
I didn't see that either.
What's that?
I didn't see it either. I think I left too.
Oh, we were looking at merch.
That's what we were.
That was the merch check,
That
right?
was the merch check, yeah.
Stu Grayson Phantasma was good, I thought.
It was pretty solid.
Phantasma, they're both cool. I like them both. Then we had United Empire sort of modified version, right? Fletcher, Cobb, and TJP.
Yes.
Against Ingobernables.
Yeah, it was Desperado, Takahashi, and Takagi. There it is.
I don't remember a ton from that, but it wasn't bad.
I don't remember fully watching that.
Right. And then I guess the main show, it started off MJF versus Tanahashi. Thoughts with that as an opener, first of all?
It was fine. I don't think a strong opener choice, but I think it's okay also to get that out of the way because I didn't personally care a ton about it.
Yeah, it was
just because Tanahashi, with all due respect, I just don't care anymore. And apparently he's got a lot of injuries now, so he's not the most.
No, he's lost a couple steps for sure.
Yeah,
which is why pairing him with MJF's kind of smart because MJF was doing a lot of crowd work on this, right? And a lot of MJF can just get a lot lot of attention without
bump for it good
without having to wrestle like a super high rate. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what was the finish we had.
It was
the ring, right?
The ring, yeah.
So yeah, he ended up there was his MJF was selling his leg again, right? He got his knees up on, was it the high five flow, and then his knee was
I think he did
hurt.
He probably did a tombstone at some point.
And then it was dragon screws. Oh, he did a shoulder breaker. That's what it was. Yeah. And then yes, the ref's distracted or whatever. The dynamite ring comes out and he gets a cheap shot. So what I wanted to do, you have your phone with you. This was my idea. Remember I sent you the screenshot of all of Meltzer's ratings?
Did you send all of them?
No, I sent the picture should have all of them. So I thought we could go with his rating and then see if we agree, disagree, or how much. Right. So what do you give this? 3.5? I think
3.25.
3.25. I actually agree that's like this was good, but not
I'd go 3.
Yeah, you'd go 3. I didn't think it was amazing.
I think that's fair. I would probably agree with it, but I would probably go a little lower if I really wanted to.
Definitely wouldn't go in my opening spot.
No. And honestly, like I think it's solid to pair up Tanahashi with him, but honestly, in my opinion, I don't think you need to have Tanahashi on the shows if he's not like the most mobile guy. I don't know who else you can throw at MJF that's big enough, but I would personally throw someone.
And to nitpick like a pretty amazing show, to have your champion in a kind of not super meaningful and in the opener, right, is not
the best.
To
be fair, I don't think either world title got a lot of love here.
But that's not what it's about, right? I guess it's not what we went for. So
yeah. The world title caliber match is not for a world title.
Oh, and yeah, MJF was doing all kinds of heel stuff, right? Like grabbing the rope for leverage, like classic 80s stuff that so yeah, it was good. And then we got good, not great. This was what the entrances for this we were waiting for. It was CM Punk and Satoshi Kojima.
My favorite Japanese wrestler.
And this was, immediately big fans of Kojima because we're not big fans of Punk.
I've been a lifelong Kojima fan. I don't know why you are questioning my loyalty to Kojima.
And
it's actually offensive.
And both men, I mean, the place was majority anti-Punk, right?
It was pretty sweet.
There was people trying to get some Punk chants going, but
you could hear it kind of faintly, but I loved it very much.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this? It ended with a pretty bad GTS, I thought.
Yeah, he was carrying him for a second. Like he was like just making him look dumb.
And Punk, to his credit, I think, was embracing the heel stuff, right? Like,
well, he had to.
And he had to.
He's not a stranger to working.
So he started mocking some of Kojima's stuff, like some of the things he yells, and he was using Tenzan's like the double chops thing, and he was definitely leaning into being a heel for this.
I didn't love this as much as the opener, and I didn't even love the opener just because
I thought it was again a good match.
I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it was very.
What was Meltzer's rating for this
4.
one? No way.
Yeah.
No. I would go 3.5.
That's 4 stars. Yes.
Wow. I believe you. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just making sure. Yeah. I think that's like.
I could go 3.5. It was a good match. And I'm trying not to penalize it because it was Punk.
I'd go like 3.5.
And the crowd.
I'd go 3.25. Probably. Like I just like it's not even like it's. Again, I'm not trying to do Punk bias either, but I just found it kind of boring because it was really slow and both of them are kind of older, so it's just like, and like I said to Punk. Or about Punk, like he's still okay in the ring, like he's still solid, and like as much as I love Kojima and always have, he's just not that great in the old age, so he's not gonna bring the good match out of Punk. And I said that before, like obviously I don't like Punk at all, but if he had like a more exciting opponent, I would obviously be more into it. But I think just like I just didn't really care about this combination. It was kind of slow and like. Punk made him look dumb at points.
Yeah.
Like, remember that really weak clothesline off the corner? Like, just some parts of it. So I would go, like, 3.25. Like, I didn't love it, but it was okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was solid.
Then business picks up for us, right? We get into the 4-way match for the International Championship, right?
Yeah, it's leveled up. Don't forget.
Correct. So it's Orange Cassidy, Daniel Garcia, Katsuyori Shibata, and Zack Sabre Jr.
With the world's ugliest title belt.
I feel like this match is when you're starting to turn the corner on Zack Sabre Jr. because I thought he stood out in this.
Yeah, Sabre was really great in this. So he made a fan out of me, at least a decent bit.
And to me, this is the kind of humor I like in wrestling, right? This is comedy done well to me with Shibata and Sabre Jr. Remember when they were shoving Garcia? They wanted to fight each other.
The dance and
he kept getting involved, and they would
because it's away. Like it's humor and it's funny and it's like kind of silly, but it's not like
juvenile and I don't know,
silly,
cartoonish.
it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's just not like over the top stupid or anything. It's just like, and it fits this whole sports entertainer thing,
Right.
right? So it kind of actually does work.
So yeah, his dancing was super over in this.
Yeah.
We both love this match. I think it's fair to
It
say.
was really fun. It was super action packed and
And I love that
a lot of great
Cassidy, because
parts.
he ended up stealing the pinfall right off
From
of
Shibata.
right, which
Shibata PK.
and
I think it was
again,
Garcia.
Cassidy in a 4-person match with all of his lingering injuries, he has to do whatever he can, right? So there was awesome action in this. I thought this was a fantastic 4-way match.
Also got 4 stars.
It did. I agree.
So,
I could even go.
I would agree
4
with
and a
this,
quarter.
Yeah, I'd go 4 or higher.
Yep.
Just I don't agree that this is on par with Punk and Kojima at all.
No.
Because I thought this was great, and that match was just okay.
This match was just fun, right?
It was fun. It was entertaining,
and there was good wrestling action. Shibata's really fun to watch, and I know you haven't seen a ton of him. Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm really enjoying Shibata and Sabre both.
Zack Sabre Jr. I was telling you about it. I know all of this is fake, and he's not really trying to hurt people, right?
But it looks like it hurt.
It's so easy to just believe that he is hurting them, and from all kinds of different angles and counters and stuff. He's really fun to watch, for sure. And I think we're gonna get him and Cassidy solo at some point.
I can see that. Yeah,
seems to be which should be awesome.
When they were all facing off after the match, and I didn't really catch on TV either, so I don't know. Like it looked like I was thinking, I don't think they'll do it, but my mind went to a title for title, which I don't think would happen.
Right.
But I could see them all going at it again, or like,
Me
I
too.
would just do this again, or I'd do Shibata Cassidy, I'd do Sabre Cassidy.
This was in my top 3 on this show.
Yeah.
Right. So, we didn't mention we went back and watched our top 3 matches.
We watched the 3 matches, yeah.
That we liked the most the next day.
This was one of them.
This was one of them.
No, like a couple days. It was probably like Tuesday.
And we were talking today about how we need to go back and watch the main event because I think I'll like it better removed from Omega Ospreay.
Although I will watch Omega Ospreay
anytime
again before that.
Sure.
So it won't be removed.
But I just think the direct comparison in the moment didn't help it. It made me think less of it than I should. And I still thought it was good. We'll get to it.
Furthers my opinion that I would directly swap the placement of those two matches
in foresight and hindsight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was fully Ospreay and Omega should have main evented. And
agree.
They always should have, and I think that'll be how it's viewed forever. But like, especially now knowing the match, like, I would directly swap those 2 matches, and I think it'd be a lot better because I think the main event was pretty great, but I think it felt under delivering because of what Ospreay and Omega did, which we'll talk about soon enough.
We will. But right now we're going to talk about the next match, which was for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and that was Sonata successfully defending against Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
That was like where this one was kind of one of the sudden ends, right?
Yeah, because it was the moonsault, and then that was my thing on this show. Love the show overall.
I thought Jungle Boy got hurt,
but there were some finishes that surprised me. So this was one. It just kind of like moonsault out of nowhere. I thought this match again was good, but not awesome, right? Like I don't know what was the rating on this one?
I think I'll pull that up. This one was,
and none of these were super long.
3 3/4.
No way.
3 3/4.
3 3/4?
Yeah.
Not for me.
Really?
3.5 maybe. That feels high. Like almost 4 stars. No.
Yeah, I would say like 3.5, 3 1/4.
Nothing wrong with it.
It was pretty solid. Yeah,
it was.
I was hoping for like more of a better match to like, because I feel like I like Jungle Boy in the ring, and I wanted to see more Sonata because I was hoping to like get an impression from him, and I don't think I really got much from this.
No, like it was.
I'm still like
very solid stuff.
I don't really know what he's all about. So yeah, I thought it was solid stuff, and that's about it.
And then we got the Jungle Boy turn, predictably, and the clothesline that just murdered poor Hook. He looked silly,
but he hit his head off the ramp.
I hope so.
Yeah.
For it to take that long.
You hope he hit his head off the ramp.
So Jungle Boy, how did you feel about the execution of that? Because it felt kind of random. Turn? Yeah. Because Hook didn't get. I thought like Hook will accidentally screw things up, or at least through a heel's eyes, it could look that way or something. But they didn't do anything, and he just clotheslined him on the ramp.
I thought, they kind of waited a while to do it too, and then like I don't know. I guess it works, but like I don't know how Hook would have interfered. Though.
I know. Well, that's for smarter people than me to figure out. But it just felt like you lost the match. Hook didn't play a role at all. I guess is it just the frustration of the match?
I guess it's just because he lost out on another world title, and Hook's got his belt,
And he did say
all that.
in his interview, which we'll get to on Dynamite, like, and you were dangling your belt in my face or something, which in that moment, on top of losing because remember Hook went to raise his hand and I think the belt was in his hand. The whole, like, I just lost the title.
Oh, if that's the case, I kind of like that.
So I think that might
then
be.
That's kind of literally.
Right. And I think that's what he was trying to explain this week. But anyways, decent match. Didn't love it.
Yeah.
Liked it. Didn't love it.
Pretty solid.
And then what do we get here? Then things pick up again.
Yeah.
It's Team Elite and Blackpool Combat Club, right? With so we got Eddie Kingston and Ishii for the Elite, and Shota Umino in his best heel gear.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
and
it was Elite,
Takeshita.
Elite, Kingston, Ishii versus Blackpool, Takeshita, and Umino, and Blackpool and all them came out to Moxley's New Japan theme,
which was very cool.
It's really cool. I've been listening to it. I really like it, and I was disappointed when he used Wild Thing on Dynamite because I like Wild Thing. I think it's a really great theme for him, and I like the tribute to Onita. But I think his New Japan theme works so good for heel Blackpool. It's great. Like in listening back to it too, I really like it. It just sounds cool, and like I couldn't really discern much of it when it was live, but it sounded a lot cooler. It fit them a lot better.
It was cool.
So I really like that. And Takeshita looks sick as hell.
This match was nuts.
Yeah, I was pretty frenzied.
I guess the big things were Kingston and Mox, right?
They just
finally facing off, and then all kinds of stuff going on around them, and they're still just in the middle, like hitting each other.
Yeah, they were chopping each other, and then other people tried to get involved, and then it results in everyone brawling, but they were still chopping each other. There was like dives, and they're still chopping each other.
And then later, Eddie saved Moxley from
a double super kick,
right?
And also Takeshita absolutely leveling Ishii with like
just starched him.
The greatest forearm strike you've ever seen.
Yeah,
like he absolutely leathered him. It was,
and Ishii kept selling it longer than you could see on TV.
Yeah, like the Elite were like reviving him on the outside. It was fun. Like he just clocked him like that. It was Takeshita. I think like between this and some other good shots, he's probably got one of the best forearm strikes in the business. Like carrying cross wishes, man. Like it was he's the anti-cross because he clocked him with it. It was like an auto reaction from everyone around. Like it was pretty good looking. It was nuts.
So this match was chaos, right? All the stuff you would expect.
No. This was Dilly and Blackpool. That's the different group.
Right. And then surprisingly, Ishii got the pinfall, right?
Yeah,
you get the brainbuster to Yuta.
Yeah. I thought this was awesome.
Me
though.
too.
I'd love to.
What was the star rating on that?
I'm assuming it was something.
I'm over
good.
4 stars. I
would go over 4 as well. This was 4 3/4.
Yeah, I'd probably be 4.5ish. I find Meltzer's
I'd go around that
very
or 4.5. Yeah,
generous.
It's as close as to a 5-star as a multi-man tag could get because I thought this was awesome.
I had a blast with this
and
match.
It's got an A-list lineup too, and also Shota Umino. Boom, roasted. Just kidding. I like Shota. But yeah, this was pretty awesome. Everyone played their part pretty well. There was like so much great action there, a lot of memorable parts to it, and I thought it was pretty sick.
It's one of the 3 we went back and watched. Right?
I forgot to look at the predictions. So.
Oh yeah.
Let me scroll down. Why is it not? Okay, there we. Yes. Okay. All right. So the first match was what? That was the MJF one, which I know we both
Tanahashi.
picked.
Obviously.
So, and then we both picked Punk, obviously. Then it was, what was after Punk? Don't tell me. It was the 4-way, and I think we both picked Cassidy.
We did. I'm almost positive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know I did. Yeah, and then
Sonata, both picked that.
We both picked Sonata, and then I picked the Elite, and you also picked the. Okay, so we're basically. Oh yeah, no wait.
It all comes down to.
Yeah,
something.
It all comes down to the main event, which I got.
So you win.
So I just win. But the point is, I win by 1.
That's the point.
That's the point. I clean sweep, baby.
Next match is Tony Storm, Willow Nightingale. I did run out to the washroom, but missed almost none of this.
I didn't. And Saraya came back just for us.
I thought this, if I remember correctly, was a lot of Willow hitting a lot of offense, and she looked good.
And then this was the one where I kind of took a break because I was like, I took a bunch of clips from the multi-man tag. I was just like, I was kind of like.
So I was. It was a lot of. Willow looked good. She hit a lot of like Death Valley Driver on the apron.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was basically like eye gouge and Storm Zero, the pile driver, and basically it was over, right? But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Didn't quite feel like a super pay-per-view championship match, but I thought it was a good match. I really like Willow. And Tony Storm's fine, right?
Yeah, so. I thought it was pretty solid. It was probably one of the matches I didn't really care much about.
Yeah.
Just because like there was a lack of build, and this is one of the ones I feel like they could have built more. But I thought the action was pretty solid. Yeah, Willow looked solid in control for the most part, and then Storm kind of pulled a win out of her ass.
Yeah.
And they got 3.25 from
Yeah,
Meltzer, which I
that's
think
fair.
is pretty apropos.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Then we get to the next match. This is the one we were
The
hoping
rematch
for
of the century.
great things. It was Kenny Omega taking on Will Ospreay, and
Yeah.
just like even the atmosphere for this was nuts.
Yeah.
You had Callis coming in with the security, right? His military grade security to protect Ospreay.
Which is funny enough more for him than it was for Ospreay.
That's the only nitpick I think you can have on this match is Callis being thrown out early and coming back and the ref not dealing with it. That is a bit like
I would have just kind of kept him there.
So
honestly.
it takes it from 100% to 99% or whatever, right? So
yeah.
But I don't know, highlights from this match, just off the top of my head even, right? The move you love of Ospreay is off the top to the floor. What was that called? The spinning
Sky Twister.
That thing was
there was
awesome.
He had Omega over the top rope and he did the shooting star.
Yep.
On his back, and then he did the Oz cutter on the apron.
Smashed
smashing
Omega's callback
face into the announce table a million times. Call back to the first match.
Right.
There was these aren't in order. I'm just trying to go off what I remember. There's the anti-air knee from Omega when he went to the Oz cutter. That was just perfectly timed.
And when
the screwdriver spot,
screwdriver
Stormbreaker,
right?
The greatest Tiger driver I've ever seen in my entire life.
So we talked about this the second time we watched it. Like the last, I don't know, 6-8 minutes, whatever that is like God tier to me. Like that whole what did he take both of? He took the Hidden Blade and the Stormbreaker.
And then he got rope break.
Perfect rope break, toe on the rope. And a distance far enough from the rope where you can believe it's over.
Yeah, I did think it was over.
Too.
I did.
If he's another foot closer, you're like, oh, rope break, right?
That was probably the most believable rope break like in a while at least. Because I was like, that's it, right?
And then Kamigoya One Wing Angel kick out at 1 was crazy.
To clarify, Omega kicked out. Ospreay hit it just Ospreay. I was hoping Ospreay would kick out of a One Wing Angel, but alas, that did not.
That's
happen.
one of the bigger pops I've been like in for a near fall in my life for sure.
Yeah, I popped for that. I think just the general pop of everyone too was really cool. Like that was really awesome.
And then the actual finish again with
I wish he won with that Tiger Driver because like he did a Tiger Driver 91, but like he didn't like sit out on it. Ospreay laying on his knees and Omega didn't get his arms out, so
I don't know how he's not hurt.
He took it straight up on his face.
I was covering my mouth and nose looking at you.
I remember I saw, it was like he just straight up took that. It's like when Kenny, I remember like I think in the Death Triangle matches he would take a cutter really high, from Phoenix, and it looked like he just smashed his face. But this was like next level. Like that should have been like injuring.
That was there were two things that were pushing the limits for me. That move, because that's just so dangerous looking, and
I love it so much.
And Ospreay licking the blood off of his arm.
He had like his arm with
not sure we need that,
there, and like he like kind of looked around at everyone and like leaves, and then he like
so much blood that probably didn't put it on.
There's the DDT on the stairs too.
True.
On the side of the stairs.
Oh yeah, he turned the on the side.
Ospreay and like Omega was bleeding first, but Ospreay ended up bleeding like way more again.
They had to change the ring, right? The mat. I don't know if that showed up on TV. But
I don't think.
It was covered in blood, so they had to take it off.
And then he won with the Hidden Blade and another Stormbreaker in the center this time. He learned.
So the best match I've ever seen live, probably I was telling you my favorite match ever.
It's like one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I can't separate being there and tell you, well, this is what I would have thought if I wasn't there, because I was. So it was amazing. I loved every minute.
It was awesome. It's probably my favorite match of all time. It's like I just think like
I think so.
In general things in my life, that's like probably one of the best things I've ever witnessed. Like,
and watching it on TV was great because Kevin Kelly giving the context of like so Omega was the man in Japan, and then he came to AEW to start this, and Ospreay was supposed to fill his shoes, and some would suggest he didn't really fill those shoes, and he lost the first match to Omega, so
trying to take the
he
torch.
Needs to win this match for whatever.
And you're talking about the parallel between the first and the second, where he didn't charge in this time. He was kind of more calculated at first, at least. And
like just callbacks, and
I like the callback with the table because that like there was the unprotected Tiger Driver, and then also Omega just like getting his face smashed in.
And I think the first one was Omega dominating for long stretches, and I think this felt like more the opposite, where Ospreay was really in control.
Yeah, and then Omega kind of got that burst back.
And just
and we
know what Meltzer said because we were waiting to find this actually. So he gave this match 6 stars,
which I think is the highest one AEW's ever gotten.
And I have no problem. I think it's dumb to go beyond 5, but this is why I'm always so reluctant to give out 5s, right?
Yeah.
Because if I were to do, because like
you just go over anyways,
right? Because like if I had given a match that I love a 5, what do I give this, right? That I think is
I would. give it, like, if we're keeping within the in the 5, I'd give it a 5, but I
If
would
you're allowed.
probably agree with
Yeah.
Meltzer's 6, if not
Like,
more,
I'll watch this
because
several more times, probably.
I still wanna watch it again. I watched it once on TV, once live. Like, I'm I'm beyond happy that I was there. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so happy they put this in Toronto, because like, I'm so happy that we got to see this, because
And
it's genuinely amazing.
rarely in your life will you expect so much from something and have
Oh,
it
yeah,
deliver.
I was,
That's the
like,
thing.
hyping this to the
Because you were even
moon.
worried, like, you even said out loud, "I'm worried I'm
I was a
building it
little
up too
concerned I was
much."
overhyping, but it delivered, like, full
So,
force. But I'm just still, like, floored by it.
that's a beautiful
It's
thing in life.
genuinely, like, one of the best things I've
So
ever
think
seen in my
about
life. Like, and imagine we never got AEW and they, like, seen, like, just I'm so happy for, like, thankful for AEW, just, like, because that they keep doing shows in New Japan, and that we
yes.
get something like this, because this is truly, like, this is, like, to be alive in the time where we get this match is pretty special.
And think about the drunk guy who paid whatever
Yeah,
over,
that's what I'm saying, like,
like, he was not there for this match. He was not back after the women's
no,
match,
he
the
was,
drunk guy.
yeah,
So he
so,
paid for
like,
that seat, paid very good money for it, trust me,
yeah.
and then missed this match.
Which is, like, this is the greatest, like, if this isn't match of the year, I would
I think
love
it
to
is.
see what is better.
I liked it better than the first one, but again,
I think
I wasn't in the
yeah,
arena for
well,
that
I
one.
think also the first match I've seen people saying, like, they kinda held back on that.
Yeah.
They held back on things, right? Because it was almost like, I do remember that one being kind of slower and
Yeah.
Omega dominated, and so this one was kinda the opposite of that, and then this one picked up a lot more, I thought,
Yep.
right? And I think this one bettered the first one in almost every way. And so I think, yeah, it is better. Not even just the live bias. I think just, like,
Yeah.
from just, like, purely just watching the match, I think it's just, like, way more entertaining. It has the advantage of calling back to the first one, obviously, but, like, it also just, like, I feel like it felt more complete by the end.
It was awesome.
As great as the first one was, because obviously that's great too. And then I feel like you have to do a third one all
You
in,
do.
which
100%.
I half don't want it to top this, and I half do want it to top this at the same time. But I feel like, regardless, if we get a third match between them, this will go down as one of the greatest wrestling trilogies of all time. Because
It's
it was insane.
it was amazing.
Like,
And
if
we
okay,
didn't even mention the whole, like, Osprey using the Canadian flag to, like, the Shawn Michaels with it,
yeah,
and then Omega hanging him with the Canadian
yeah,
flag
oh yeah,
was
there was that too. Yeah,
before giving it to kids that we stood in line with at Impact, right?
I
I think
recognize
you're
them. I
right.
think it was them. Yeah, and like, I don't know how anything this year is gonna top this.
Me
Like,
either.
halfway through the year, I would love to see
And
something
because you
top
don't
this.
have the context, you don't have time to build the context around the match that these guys have. So
Yeah,
it's going to be hard. Even if you have something that's in ring comparable, it's the whole dynamic between the two and
oh
their
yeah, that's
history in
why
New
this one was
Japan.
better, because it has the benefit of
Yeah,
playing off the last match. It has the same story or a similar story as the first match, but better. And now it's more heated. Like, Osprey coming back for vengeance was on top of everything else. You know, the whole
yeah,
New Japan Ace kind of thing. It just works so much better. Yeah, like, this one was really the full package, or the whole
agree.
package. Like, it's got, like, that, like, it was the perfect dream match for me, because as great as, like, obviously I want to see Danielson and Okada. Who doesn't? But this one is like a dream match to me. That, I mean, sure, we already saw it, but it's a dream match on paper regardless, because Osprey and Omega are sick, and then it's also got that feud underneath. Like, it's
Hmm.
probably the only match on the show that was built that had, like, a really great feud underneath, and obviously that benefits of, like, being kind of like a, like, not a non-TV feud for most of the
Right.
time this is built up, but still, like, I feel like it's just been built so much better than most things, and it benefits from that.
My next dream match is Danielson Saber. That would
Danielson
be
Saber, yeah, because we were supposed to
amazing.
get that, and really hope Osprey continues to make excursions, because I know he won't
Yep, I'd like to
ever.
see more of him, Shibata, Saber.
I know he won't ever be here permanently, because I know he doesn't want to live in the U.S. or anything, and I respect that.
Yeah, that's
That's
fine.
perfectly
It's fair.
understandable. But I hope, like, because last year he came around for the trios tournament, like, I hope he does stuff like that. I hope he, like, we get, like, a U.S. title defense here and there, because I would love to see more of him.
And he's such a complete wrestler. Like
Yeah,
he's a hateable heel now. Like
yeah.
even just his facial expressions and when he licked the blood and the
He was just
fans are
like,
chanting at him, you sick F, and he just looks right down the barrel of the
yup.
camera and goes, "Yup, that
Yeah,
was
he's
amazing.
got everything down. Yeah,
That
because
was
he's so
cool."
much more complete now. I think both him and Omega are, like, they're just
Yeah.
complete wrestlers.
Two best in the world and they're just having
Yeah,
killer matches.
the funny thing
It's
was,
easy.
Danielson and Okada were having the whole squabble about who's the best in the world, and then here you have the
Yep.
other two. Like, you kind of gotta have all four of them in the conversation. So I don't see how you can't have a third match at All In.
I agree.
Because
Do you know
that would be Ospreay's neck of the woods, and then also just like you gotta have a tiebreaker. This feud deserves a tiebreaker.
Do you know what our friends at, and I'm going to call them our friends at Poison Rana are calling All In?
What?
All in it. In
Nice.
it. Which
Nice.
I like, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of where it's held.
I would
and
love to
whatnot.
see like this kind of match. I don't know how they could top it. I hope they do.
I love them.
Also don't.
Love
but
for them to try every week if they want.
I would love for them to try to top this, and imagine that in like the big Wembley Stadium. That would be that'll be sweet.
All right, we should move on because we could talk about this forever.
I could talk about this forever.
We loved it.
This is probably my favorite match ever. This made the show for me. This is all I wanted to see.
Yep.
So I would have shelled out my entire savings for just this match alone.
Because we can say we were there forever.
So yeah, that's awesome. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. It's perfection.
Then you get the spot of death, right? Like, what are these guys supposed to do?
Yeah, but I figure it was.
Sting, Darby Allin, and Naito versus Jericho, Guevara, and Suzuki.
Good thing we saw Jericho because I didn't want to see Painmaker.
And this was just kind of
Hamilton didn't even get to see Jericho.
This was just kind of there for me. Like,
Yeah.
it was just in
It was
the
about what I
aftermath.
would expect.
It was fine, but like we were just exhausted from the previous match.
Yeah, I don't because like, and I think we've mentioned this before. We're not typically reactive people in wrestling.
No,
like,
but we were into that
usually
one.
like like we're usually pretty silent. I just like to enjoy it. But I was reacting pretty much most of the time. Like I just kind of got into that match because like it was awesome. It's what I was waiting for, and it was awesome. So yeah, I was tapped out. Like I think I kind of understand now, like when crowds are down in some parts of the card, because normally I don't experience that. But yeah, this was definitely like the down period, and I think it's a solid match to put it here because if you're a person who cares about Sting a lot, then you're still gonna be hyped, and I think some people were.
They were
right, so that AEW will still get that solid reaction. But then if you're someone like me who doesn't care, and like you who doesn't really care, then that's our down period, so I think it kind of works from that. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I fully recovered energy-wise for the main event, but this was a good like down spot. So I think it's an understandable spot and I think it's a solid place to put this because I don't see this ever like, I don't think they have to worry about like kind of being like, you know what I mean? Like they don't have to try to outshine after because I feel like if you put something good like, obviously it'd be weird card placement, but let's say you put the 4-way right after this. It looks automatically worse.
Yeah.
This, I don't think, in my eyes at least, and I feel like you would think the same, it's never going to look amazing, so I don't care if it doesn't look as good next to the Ospreay Omega match, because it's never going to be like great in my eyes. And like I love the 4-way.
Not even next to that, but in between two super
in between those matches, right? So it's never going to look... It's never going to have this like great placement in my mind. So I think it's a good spot to put it because my opinion is probably going to be the same regardless.
So the big thing on this one everyone's talking about, right, is Sting took a 630, which I in the moment didn't think he was supposed to. And the way he didn't sell it was the key, right? Because he was like back up and doing stuff.
Yeah, he was up before Sammy. I was like, what the hell?
Which was strange.
Which
but
I guess makes sense if what you're saying is true.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to get out of the way there. And then there was like a nice Judas effect to counter a suicide dive at one point. I don't know. Like again, this was this
I
show.
think this is the lowest rated one on the main card. It's 3 stars.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
And I think this show, like the highs were super super high, but the lows weren't really that low either, right?
No.
So like it's not like this was a bad match. It just wasn't amazing. I think it was probably my least favorite on the show.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. And like,
but it still wasn't bad.
None of the lows were horrible, and it's just that it reached such insane highs.
And this show, we were there for 5 hours, and I didn't feel like it dragged at all. Like I was fine the whole time. I was probably more engaged than if I were at home. I would probably start to feel tired, right? Because I'm sitting on my comfy couch and my feet are up and whatever. But here I was
probably be still engaged with the Ospreay match, but like it's better live. Yeah, as being in the live atmosphere kind of forces you to stay awake.
Yeah.
Too, so.
Well, unless you're the guy 2 seats down from me,
unless you're drunk.
Asleep in the middle of what match was he asleep in? Probably the one before the women's.
That was, hold on, I got it.
I think.
It was
like 15,000 wrestling fans yelling and screaming, and this dude
that would have been the multi-man tag. So it might have been around that. I feel like it was
to sleep through that is crazy.
But yeah. Oh yeah, the multi-man tag was that's a hard one to sleep.
Quickly, the main event was Danielson Okada, and you had Danielson winning with what seemed like a strange sort of painful submission, but then you find out he broke his forearm. I don't
know how that happened.
He said with 10 minutes left, I think.
Oh.
So he wrestled a good 10 minutes with a very, very, and I noticed I just assumed he was selling it really well, right? Because he was
I know
holding it
Meltzer
super
doesn't love
tight to his
Okada
body.
tapping. Also, Danielson came out to Final Countdown, which was
He did.
awesome because the crowd was just like, that's the goosebump moment. Then the crowd sing along to that, just like, because that's probably one of those songs that if I'd be surprised if you don't know that
Yeah.
song, if you don't recognize it from something in some way. So that was really cool because I guess he's also using ROH, and it's a one-time thing.
Right.
So we were there for that because he's not going to use it again. I would assume, right? Unless they do like another one-time thing, but like. As far as we know, the only time he's using the Final Countdown, we saw that, so that was really cool because the crowd loved that, so that was really cool.
I could have lived without Danielson doing the convulsing on the ground. Did that? Remember?
I do kind of remember that, but I don't remember when that was or why.
So he was basically, I don't know if that's where he broke his arm and he was just trying to kill some time or whatever because he was being checked on. So I thought that was especially just because it's him.
I do remember that being weird
with the history of being like one move away from paralysis or whatever. Oh yeah, it was right after the elbow drop, and I think that's where he said he broke his arm. Right, he started to convulse on the floor. The doctor comes in to check on him and stuff, and then he gets up and keeps going.
Why don't I remember? I definitely need to watch this match again.
I honestly, it was like we were just sort of and that's the thing. Like I think this was a very good match, but I know I need to watch it again.
From what I remember, I think it was pretty great, but like I think like. It really gets like hurt from just I'm still starstruck from Ospreay and Omega. Like,
so I'm gonna watch it again.
I just like I was paying attention to it, but at the same time, like
What did Meltzer give it?
I'm drawing a blank here. Probably something good because it's Okada.
Off the top of my head,
4 3/4. Which,
okay, so I was just gonna say I'm like 4 1/4, 4 1/2.
I'd probably
maybe
go 4 1/2. Yeah, just because
if I watch it again.
Yeah, and so another crazy thing, like imagine Danielson stayed retired, that like not getting this, that would be pretty insane. So yeah, it's great that like this match happened, and it was pretty great from what I can remember. But like, just card play, it kind of shows me how key card placement can be sometimes. Because I think like they didn't really follow Ospreay Omega, but they kind of did, right? Because it's the next it's the only other marquee match to follow. Like
it was, and maybe it's because they weren't having Omega win. Like maybe if Omega's booked to win, then it goes main event and the crowd leaves happy.
I guess,
you know what I mean?
Like.
That might have been
Danielson's technically a heel, but I guess people love him anyways. But like, I don't care. I think like I think they should just put Ospreay and Omega last. It makes the most sense. And I was saying that going in. I'm saying that coming out. I'm saying that for the rest of the time. Right? Like it not only just because I think it's the biggest match and it was the most deserving, but now in hindsight, purely in hindsight, obviously because you wouldn't know before, but like it kind of hurt this match. And like, not that this was bad in any way. Right, despite the broken forearm.
Just in direct comparison.
Yeah, in direct comparison, it really hurts it, and it's hard to shake that.
Yep.
Especially with how much I love the U.S. title match.
I'm saying this was an A pay-per-view. Just the 3 matches that were awesome, were amazing.
I think it's like a few great matches from A+. Like
it's getting maybe a few percent bump because I was there, but like
it's an A show for sure.
Like we talked about some matches, like we didn't really love them, but honestly, nothing was bad.
Nothing was
bad. The worst
bad.
match on this show was still a decent match.
And I didn't love Punk Kojima, but that wasn't bad. It just wasn't
not at all
amazing. And like I think, like you said, the highs were
so high,
insurmountable. Like it's just
those 3 matches
insane,
I could watch and watch.
Yeah, the 4-way was
so fun.
Spectacular.
And all different.
Yeah, the multi-man tag was awesome and frenzied. The Ospreay Omega match is like I keep saying one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just
nice. I'm glad we went.
Bar all is one of like that was worth. I'd pay to see that.
So there's your advice. If you're a lonely wrestling fan, just have a kid, wait 15 years, train him to like wrestling, and then you two can go watch like all-time great matches together.
And then I think like what the women's match was pretty solid. Sonata, Jungle Boy was solid. The main event was really good. From what I remember. Obviously, it gets a little hurt from that. Yeah, the Sting match was okay. I don't think the opener was pretty solid, and like anything from the pre-show was fine. But so yeah, I think it's an A show. Like I think it's a couple other really good matches from an A+. Like I feel like if a couple other matches were even better, then it would get there. But I think it's as close to an A+ as you can get. It's definitely like my favorite. It's probably my favorite AEW show of the year so far.
I think so.
It edges out Revolution. Definitely Double or Nothing, because Double or Nothing was a bit of a low one, right?
I remember it being the one.
It got rescued by the last 2. Remember the 4 pillars and the Anarchy in the Arena?
Right.
So this one's definitely a great improvement from that. And just I need to watch that match again.
Well, we should probably move on. We're already an hour in right now, basically.
Well, because I spent half that time talking about Omega and Ospreay.
So we'll do that. We'll finish up this segment, move into more AEW, but it'll be taking a look at this Wednesday's episode of Dynamite. All right, so talk about some Dynamite. You just noticed the time. It's getting late. Too much gushing about
Forbidden Door.
Osprey and what's his face there, that Omega fellow.
Really? What's his face?
Anyways, go.
At least you remembered Osprey.
Talk about Dynamite.
Yeah. So we kick off with Moxley versus Ishii, which
Yes, we do.
G1 rematch from 4 years ago.
This couldn't have felt more like a G1 Japanese strong style match.
And Moxley did not use his Death Rider theme again, which I mentioned. So that kind of stuff. I think, like, I guess it's a New Japan thing, but I really think they should use it because it suits heel Blackpool so well. Just it does. It's really good. Anywho, match starts with a heavy chop exchange, as you do. Forearm exchange after standoff. Mox hit a suicide dive. Eddie Kingston came out and he walked down and kind of like fend off Blackpool, like kind of about to interfere.
Yep.
And so he's there the rest of the match. I really liked him and Claudio just staring at each other the whole time. I thought that was kind of
Eddie's intensities, even just the way he like stalks to the ring is cool.
Yeah, I really like that. It was a nice like kind of underplayed aspect of the match. I kind of like that. There's another very lengthy forearm exchange, but Mox got the better of it. He had a discus form after a brief barrage from Ishii. Nice. No Takeshita, but like still good.
Yep.
Mox did a gosh power driver for 2, which always looks cool. Mox and hammer and elbows while Ishii's flipping him off. That was kind of funny. Mox moved into a chin lock until Ishii's eventually able to fight out, hit a back suplex. Mox hit a German suplex, but Ishii powers through to eat a lariat from Mox for a 1 count. Running knee from Ishii for a 1 count, then they kind of do a double lariat spot, and they both collapse. Headbutts and slaps from both of them. Then Ishii goes for a lariat. Mox counters through into a paradigm shift for 2 count, or the dirty deeds, because not the elevated one.
Right.
Ishii hits a butterfly DDT, basically like kind of doing his own paradigm shift, followed by a lariat for a 2 count. Mox hits a cutter. Ishii pops back up and hits a basement lariat for 2. Ishii goes for a brainbuster. Mox counters, hits a short knee, followed by a death rider for a near fall. So Ishii gets to kick out of a paradigm shift or death rider, whatever you want to call it. Mox misses a curb stomp. So this is the finish. Mox misses a curb stomp. Ishii hits a leaping enziguri. Mox came back though with the curb stomp a la Seth Rollins. Yeah. And he hit a death rider follow up for the win. Then he was walking up the ramp. He kind of like brushes his shoulder off Eddie as he walks up the ramp. And they kind of have a little argument without mics. Eddie's like saying like, congrats, you did it by yourself, or which I kind of liked. And Mox was retorting as well. I didn't really catch much of it, but it was really nice. I love the dynamic in general, so that's a nice thing.
I ended up thinking that this match was awesome, and honestly, it started out with almost too many strikes and stuff, because that's very, like, when it started, what did I say? I said the over-under on forearms is like 70, right? So, but then it just started building, right? And it really did feel like a G1 match on Dynamite, and I thought it was an awesome opener, and of the recent Ishii matches in North America, I think it's my favorite one.
What would you classify as those? Because other than this and the multi-man tag,
the stuff, didn't he have more? He had multiple things last year. At least I saw. Maybe it was because I was watching.
We're
Strong
thinking like back to last year. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think between this and the multi-man tag, he's got a really nice pair of quality performances.
So this was close to being like, okay, too much striking, but then they got into everything else, and I ended up really liking it. Thought it was a pretty awesome opener. Mm-hmm. And I guess like, so Ishii got the pin at Forbidden Door, so Moxley gets that back here, I guess, too, to balance things out.
Yeah, it was exactly what you expect from these two. It was more the Japan style, and as a result, like pretty hard hitting, fast paced at times. But I think it was a good choice for an opener. And it kind of fits in the aftermath of Forbidden Door, because it's like Ishii's still from New Japan, obviously. Moxley also gets a quality singles win here, which feels a little rare within all the faction warfare we've been getting. I enjoyed this a lot. I'm surprised Ishii got to kick out a couple finishers from Mox, but it was also cool because it was unexpected. Good start to the show. Not a hot opener per se, but like still like it's still a really good opener, because like these guys, they're not the type to have a hot opener, but it's still like a good one, if that makes sense.
And I could have lived without the unprotected headbutts, but they weren't super fierce, but still unnecessary, I think. But anyways.
Yeah, and I also liked Claudio and Eddie's bit there. That was a nice little bit.
It was. That Eddie adds a little something, right, to stuff.
Renee is then talking with MJF and Adam Cole. And so I like this. Adam Cole pulled up to the parking lot to talk to Renee, and then so is MJF. He's acting all friendly to Cole and congratulates Cole on being sick for Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
And he says he wishes he thought of that, which that was pretty funny. MJF says they got off on the wrong foot, and he says nobody's on his level, but Cole is close, and he says just imagine what they could be capable of as a team, and he had an idea to bond a bit, or to bond a little bit. Cole agrees to it and says he'll see him around. And MJF shows him their new shirt, which is like a logo combo. It's better than you, baby. It's got like baby and Cole's font. It's got like the scarf font, scarf like print, for MJF's
Yep.
half of that. I really like it. It's a cool thing. And then Cole says, "Good God," walks away, and the MJF says, "See you later, bro, Chacho."
Yeah. I like this too because I think it's like each man is kind of working the other one and they think like they know what the other one's doing, but they're one step ahead and they both think that. Because I think MJF is basically willing to do anything to not face Cole again, right? Because there
Yeah.
was he was so
Yeah,
close
I
to
thought
losing
that
there.
was a good take on it.
And so like
I kind of agree.
you can befriend him here and maybe it's less likely. And then Cole's willing to go along with it because he wants belts. So if it gets him tag team gold to cooperate with this guy
And
for a week
then
or whatever.
maybe he'll work a title shot out of it.
Right. So
which
they
is
each
the opposite of what MJ
they
wants.
each think they're working the other one. So I thought this was entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this for a short segment. MJF is really amusing. I like the sick excuse line because he's always trying to get at his stuff. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And Cole obviously being actually sick. MJF was really funny throughout the whole thing. It kind of reminds me of the thing he had with Sammy pre Double or Nothing, but different because Cole is reluctant. So it's kind of different.
Yeah.
Because Sammy was all in on that, obviously. I feel like MJF wants to make this work. Yeah, because like basically what you're saying, because it could be another title for him. Obviously, then he could be a double champ and really say he's better than everyone, better than all the other tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
And theoretically, it keeps Cole from being a title challenger. I hope we get some bonding segments from these two.
Yes.
I think those would have some great entertainment potential. The shirt's actually pretty sweet. I really like it. So I would definitely try to. I want to try to get that. I like it. And the LA Knight shirt. And then I don't know why, but I laughed when he said "See you later, bro, Chacho."
Yeah.
Just the way he said that, that was just funny.
And it does set up, if they do it right, a bunch of entertaining vignettes of them out together,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Could be
and their
fun.
matches could be interesting too.
Mhm.
Then Renee is back on the scene, but she's mad at John Moxley because of the Eddie thing. Moxley was yelling, and then Eddie came and yelling. Like, so Renee was like talking to John and then Moxley was like saying something, and then Eddie came and yelling. They're arguing. He said like something, but like nobody kicks Mox's ass but him.
Right.
But Mox is teaming with that scumbag Claudio, obviously. They're yelling at each other a bunch more. It's hard to get. Like, you really kind of have to watch it. It's not good for note taking. Renee gets fed up as Mox walks off. As she said, she's had enough and tells Eddie to fix it. I enjoyed this too. It's hard to take notes when it's Mox and Eddie yelling at each other, but I like it a lot because it just feels real.
Yes.
Like, they just feel
exactly.
really real, and it feels like a realistic like issue between like friends because like he's friends with someone his friend has like a major issue with.
Right.
Some of the lore is still unclear, like you were kind of saying the other week, which I would like to know about, a la like the Chikara BS that Mox was referring to. Other than not knowing everything, I'm enjoying whatever's going on here. I really like it because it's just like Mox and Eddie are just gold together, and I love that anytime.
My thoughts are very similar. Like, I like the complexity of relationships here, and AEW, I think, does this more, and it comes up again with the Dark Order, right? They don't just drop these things, they sort of come back around to them. So, like you said, it's easy to believe that these guys would behave this way, right? And that's when I like pro wrestling the best, when it feels like, yes, this is how these men in this situation would behave.
It feels all logical and real, and like this is how people would actually behave
and
in
add
certain
that
situations.
Eddie and Mox are super strong performers, so it's good.
Yeah, they sell it great. Next, we get my next excuse to talk about my favorite match. We get highlights of Omega Ospreay 2 from Forbidden Door. It's just match highlights spliced together with post-match words from Omega and Ospreay.
But they're both bloody, which was great.
Yeah. And Omega's got like the weird plastic like on him or whatever, like, you know, like it looks like saran wrap.
Yeah.
I don't know what it technically is, but like I've seen him have that before. I've seen Big E had that before. So yeah, Omega says like he said something and he said he'll be back. Ospreay says they can run it back for a tiebreaker anytime. Brackets, hooray.
Yep.
So nice little recap for anyone who missed it. And if you didn't see it, go see it. Like this one time I'm gonna be like, you gotta go see it. You must go see it if you're a pro wrestling fan and not like, and I do say pro wrestling, and you know WWE fans might not like it. I would still tell you to check it out, but if you're a pro wrestling fan, you really gotta check it out. And so I think this was before we talked. I wrote this obviously before we talked about Forbidden Door. I think before I watched it again. It might have been after I watched it. Anyways, I wrote, by now I've probably said enough about how great I think it is. I know myself.
Yeah.
The tiebreaker they're teasing has to be coming because I don't think they can leave it at this. I mean, you could, and I wouldn't be unhappy, but I really want another one. I don't know how they can top this. Like they topped the first one. I hope they try. It's got to be all in. That's just gonna be like.
I think so.
That's gonna be like, cause just the setting and like the tiebreaker like hype, it's gonna be like one of the biggest matches ever, because that show already is like one of the biggest matches in the history of pro wrestling, or sorry, biggest shows in the history of pro wrestling. So imagine this feud, that match on top of that show. That's gonna be like one of the biggest matches of all time.
It will be big.
That is going to be crazy. Next we get Daniel Garcia in 2.0 versus Orange Cassidy, Keith Lee, and El Hijo del Vikingo. Random TV trios match, so let's go, I guess. They showed like something playing in picture-in-picture. It was like 2.0 Garcia were throwing out some challenge. I didn't really hear it or catch it, so I don't know. And then Cassie was getting interviewed about it, and so he found Keith Lee in the locker room there, and Vikingo was there, and he gave him a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just like really quick, fast setup.
Yep, that's how he found 2 partners.
I'm going to assume it's something stemming from the 4-way with Garcia and Cassie.
Could be,
It
yeah.
kind of has to be, I would assume. I think, like, I do remember now as I'm thinking about it, Garcia said something like he'll take the title at all costs or something. Like, he's going after Cassie, which I thought he was going after Shibata, but all right. Some of the notables, Vikingo showed off some athleticism, then he hit a cool springboard arm drag, followed by a fast tilt-to-whirl head scissors. Parker combed his hair, then Cassie takes him down. He put the comb in his pocket, which I thought was pretty funny. Cassie took a 2.0, then combs his hair, and then Parker went for the comb later, which is kind of funny.
It made me laugh the way he dove off the ring apron. Instead of like stepping down and then bending over, he like dove on to go pick it up like
Yeah.
it was something very important to him.
Which I guess it is.
Yeah.
Vikingo hit a diving double foot stomp with Cassie holding Garcia in a bow and arrow stretch, so that was kind of cool. Menard hit a big powerbomb to Vikingo. Jazz had a series of corner moves to Vikingo, then Parker steps off Menard's back to an elbow drop, which was pretty cool. Keith Lee gets a hot tag. Garcia was doing his little dance on standing on Lee's back, but
He
Lee
did.
got up and then caught him. Like, he almost went wrong, but he caught him pretty good in the fireman's carry, so
Yep.
props to Lee for handling that really well. Then he held him in a fireman's carry with clothesline 2.0. Then Garcia fought out. I was hoping Keith Lee would hit something, but he didn't really.
No.
Then he hit Lee hit him with that 2-hand chop in the corner. Lee assists Vikingo up to hit a moonsault to the outside 2.0. Remember, there's the whole dive botch stuff.
Yes.
I'm not really gonna get into that because it's not really worth noting. Garcia and Cassie go back and forth a bunch until Garcia locks in the Dragon Tamer. Vikingo breaks that up. But we get an orange punch to Parker, and then the finish comes with Menard clotheslines and chops Lee to little effect. Lee catches him in the fireman's carry, and then eventually hits the Big Bang Catastrophe. They call it the Supernova in AEW, but I remember the Big Bang Catastrophe from the NXT days.
Right.
And he hits that for the win. It's basically like a fireman's carry version.
It
of
looks cool.
Yeah, it's a
when he hits it.
fireman's carry version of a jackhammer, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's basically the best way to describe it.
Yeah, your recap made it sound better than I wrote that I was hoping for much more than this. I didn't really love it.
I thought it was like a typically fun trios match, just like one hindered by some of the botches and a little bit of sloppiness towards the end. Like, I thought it was perfectly serviceable.
Like, but I was
but
looking
nothing
for like some
amazing.
standout Vikingo. Keith
Yeah.
Lee's getting another chance. Like,
Yeah, Keith
I
Lee
was
is back to the black hair.
hoping for more.
I thought Keith Lee, like, they were building up to it, and like his hot tag wasn't. I was hoping for more.
I
from
agree.
His hot tag.
Because they did build it. Vikingo
Yeah.
took a lot, and then the
Yeah.
hot tag was not that hot.
Yeah, so I don't think anything was match ruining though. It just led this to be lesser than I'd hope, and I feel like you share the sentiment.
The botch on the floor was awkward. He
yeah,
was
a
supposed to
little bit.
catch Vikingo, he didn't, and then he just
They kind of
like,
went for that spot, which is
yeah.
okay. I still found it decently enjoyable though, like most of the TV multi-man tags are. Odd team, not a bad one. Keith Lee back to black hair is better. No offense to the natural gray. And so since there's no other opportunity to talk about here, I'm going to talk about here. So I think it's next week then when the blind eliminator starts. They said they would announce a bracket this week. I didn't see the bracket. I only saw the one match announced. So one of the blind eliminator tournament matches is Cassie and Darby Allin, the house show tag team, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's we're getting Swerve in Our Glory again. I told you.
Nice.
I like that. Obviously the dynamic's gonna be weird again, but I hope we get like some reluctant working together. Like, I really like Swerve in Our Glory just as like a combination. They were always really cool. So
Yes,
I'm like,
they were good.
and I feel like the dynamic would be really cool. And maybe this is like to get that pay. We could get a payoff to their feud. But I hope for them to go like, because since they were a team, like they could reluctantly work together and they could go all the way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
At least to the finals. And like, I hope we get like they kind of slowly work together. I'm not saying they have to go full tag team again after this. Like, but just for this, I mean, I would like them to team again. But I also like heel Swerve, and you could get a Swerve face turn and out of the Mogul Embassy, and they could team again.
I don't think they did all they could have with that team. I think there was still meat on that bone. As
I'm kind of fancy. I would like for them to go like full tag team again, because that could really help the division. And I don't really think Swerve needs the Embassy.
Yeah.
I just don't think that works. And Swerve can be cool as a face anyways, so it's not like I'm worried about that affecting him much. But regardless if they team after the tournament or not, but like for the purpose of the tournament, I would like for them to kind of slowly work together because I like some of their tag offense. Like we need the swerve, the swerve stomp spirit bomb.
I do like
We need
that.
Remember they always do the fireman's carry thing with like the Insiguri in the forearm. That was always really cool. Like the moonsault off of Keith Lee. I'm just really excited for that because I really like them as a combination. Like tag team name aside, and like I agree. I just don't think they did all they could with that team. So
Right.
I
don't
just
think so.
I just want to see more of them. I really like them as a combination. Is my point. So I thought that's a really cool, and that makes me more interested in the blind eliminator tournament.
You
Bit
know
of
what
a
else?
digression.
You know what else I'm reading that we could have done Thursday if you weren't
What?
working? We thought about going to Collision,
the
which
Collision
the tickets
taping,
went
yeah.
down to $15. But Demand Lucha did one, and it was Vikingo Speedball and Jack Cartwheel. I don't know if you know him. In the main event. He's I watched him when he was brand new to wrestling, I think, in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. That would have been a cool match.
That sucks.
Anyways, carry on.
I saw I think he was teaming with Angelico. I think it was on Ring of Honor the one time, and I was like, Angelico and a guy named
Jack Cartwheel.
I miss TH2. You know, if we could, I don't know what happened to Jack Evans or where he is.
They just didn't renew him.
That sucks.
I don't think there was any reason.
I'm hoping like there's no.
I don't think it was bad terms or scandal. I don't think
he's not a garbage human being or something.
I don't know. If he is, I don't think there was because of it was the reason he left. I don't think.
Yeah. I would like. I really wish they could come back because I love their theme. It was kind of like I don't know what the technical term for that kind of music is, but like, do you remember their theme? It's kind of like
I remember you liked it, and
it's
that
like
Angelico would dance a little bit,
but like.
Yeah, I
don't know. Anyway, it's like some instrumental thing. Anyways, yeah, I love Angelico's dance. He still does that with his solo theme's really good. But anyways, I thought they were a really cool combination.
They were cool.
I would like for them to like. I wish they could come back and get more of a spotlight because they could have a cool feud.
I love Angelico.
They would be cool. I like them together. I miss TH2. That was like early AEW, and they never really did a whole lot. That kind of sucks. They got plagued also by the HFO.
Oh right.
Yeah, or the AFO as it was, or the HAFO, if you want to call it that. Hardy Andrade. Whatever. That does not matter.
Keep going.
Oh yeah, because you're talking about Demand Lucha. I was just trying to remember how I even got there. Next we got Hung Bucks promo backstage. So they have an open challenge. Hangman says they're putting an open challenge fresh off the Forbidden Door win. And then the Dark Order come in, say they accept, and they'll kick their asses. And Hangman's kind of trying to play it off, saying like, oh yeah, we can make it a 12-man tag if you guys want in. And then they're like, no, we want to fight you. And yeah, so they're why do I have a candy in my pocket?
Oh, while the Young Bucks are acting like they're just Dark Order's just ruining their shot, right? Sort of thing.
I have a candy in my pocket for some reason.
Congrats.
I was trying to feel what it was, and I'm confused. I'm gonna eat it later. And so yeah, Reynolds says they're serious and they want to fight them tonight. He hasn't talked to them in months and thinks it's okay. Uno says he hasn't contacted them in months or hung out with them in months, and he abandoned them for the Elite. Hangman says he needed to help them fight Blackpool, and he says, what is it like he's their babysitter? And Reynolds is like, oh, so you think that's what it was? And he says they're his opponents tonight, not his friends. What did you think of this little thing he made?
I like the idea for the match, and like on one hand, part of me wants to be like, what's the heel face dynamic here, right? Because they're both kind of baby face groups, but like I said before, I like the complexity of some of this stuff, right? Again, this feels like something that WWE would have just never revisited, right?
Yeah.
Hangman's moved on.
That's exactly what I said. Like in WWE, they probably forget about it because they're all baby faces, and they'd be okay to like be in the background or play together.
But Dark Order are people who have feelings, and they feel like this guy could have shot them a text or something. And you know, how busy are you that you can't in the era of like digital communication? Not so. I like it. It just makes it. The match was almost a bit awkward where it felt like the Bucks were working heelish a little bit, or like they're douchey, you know what I mean? More so.
I thought it was kind of like Dark Order were kind of too. But
I thought Uno was the more like, enough of this, I want to kill Hangman, right? Like, I'm done with you altogether. I felt like he was leading that charge, but...
Yeah, and Silver and Reynolds were kind of like trying to fight him too. And like, so, I like their animosity towards Hangman. Like, the Mox-Eddie dynamic feels realistic. I think it makes sense.
It makes sense, yes.
And like I like a lot that they not only remember all the history with Hangman and the Elite, but as a result, they're actually mad at Hangman for teaming with the Elite and ditching them. I just enjoy the previous storylines being referenced here, and like it actually matters. And I like that they kind of like in the match they kind of had this like heelish edge to them, not heelish, but I like them being like actually bothered by and like kind of working more dirty, I guess, if you want to say, like, just like towards Hangman, just because like they don't like the Elite and
A little more edge to
they're
them,
annoyed
yeah.
at him. Yeah, they have the edge. And like I like all the previous storylines being referenced here, and like I think that works really well. I like that the Blackpool Elite feud is kind of spurring off in multiple directions because you have the Eddie Mox Claudio issue, you have the Hangman and Dark Order history, you have Omega and Callus's feud, and that also involves Takeshita, and then the faction war is kind of the center of all of this, right? It's kind of like all this like it's cool that this is all like somewhat interconnected, so that's really interesting.
It is.
And then like something to remember is that Blackpool, when they initially started becoming bully heels, I think after Mox and Hangman's feud, they were targeting the Dark Order. Like they took them out week after week. So let's not forget that's how this started.
Yep.
And that kind of turned to the Elite eventually, right? Because it spilled out into, because remember Dark Order and Hangman, so they were fighting together, and then Hangman was like, oh, I'm gonna help the Elite, and so it really does work.
Yep.
It even works like connected to this, and the Elite got in because it was spilling into the 3-way trios.
To nitpick this, I feel like you could have had this, like the payoff so fast, right? It was like, here's the segment and then here's the match. I feel like you could build,
I mean,
drag it out a bit more.
Maybe they could come back to it or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I liked it.
I do like at least any acknowledgement of it, and it makes sense to me. And then we get Jericho and Guevara interview. The one appearance from Jericho on the show.
My notes are question mark underneath, so I don't know what I was doing, but you're gonna remind me of it now.
Was this when you were making the pizza?
Maybe.
What? No, that was Mom.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Maybe I was just like, didn't feel like, my assumption is I didn't have a strong opinion, so I didn't put anything. But let's hear
you.
You
don't even have your opinion?
No, I have nothing. I have literally 2 question marks underneath it. So once you recap it, I might have.
Renee talks about their main event against Sting and Darby. Jericho talks about Sting and himself being in the ring together for the first time at Forbidden Door. It says it's poetic, this match being on TBS and being commentated by Shivani like it should have been so many years ago. He says Sting wanted more time with him, but now it's his nightmare because he's facing the Painmaker. And Jericho looked deep inside himself, something else, blah, 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 Painmaker spiel, I don't care.
I think maybe that's why, because I was just like, the Painmaker, is it a draw for anybody? It's not for us.
Yeah, so this is fine. I don't love making Jericho versus Sting such a big deal, and they're both so old now. I just don't care. It's probably more of a me issue than anything. I just don't give a crap at all. All the Painmaker spiel here was so lame too. Like, who the hell cares about the Painmaker crap? Honestly, quit acting like it's some Demon Balor or Fiend alter ego type stuff. It's Jericho in Slight Pain and wears all black clothes and he wears a shirt. Wow.
And it's hard because he's so like comedic and whatever. It's just not believable that
I might mention it later, but in case I forget, like the more annoying thing to me was also the commentary keep referring to him as like Jericho, sorry, Painmaker. Like
that was annoying.
That's annoying because like
it was.
It's not even like Demon Balor or Fiend where you put some effort to look different, or like Mankind and Dude Love and Cactus Jack, where those are distinctly different things.
Right.
Like this is just him wearing Slight Pain and darker. Like his entrance is like slightly different. He still uses Judas.
Yeah.
Like he still is Floyd. He's still like, it's pretty much the same, just slightly darker. It's like, I don't like it's like it should be a nickname thing, but like they treat it like it's some alter ego when it's not.
It's not.
It's not. And like I hated their hesitation to call him Jericho because it's clear it is Jericho. It's not like you have to call him Pain.
They don't have to go to their way to correct themselves.
It's
that's
just
for
dumb.
Sure.
It was just annoying. This was kind of like that, so I didn't really care about this at all.
Yeah,
I didn't really like it. And obviously, you had
not a lot of thoughts,
intense thoughts about it.
None.
Yeah. Next we get Dark Order vs Hung Bucks. And so I wrote almost guaranteed to outshine the other trio in this match. We just got weird card placement. Now that I think about it, oh well.
Yeah.
Because kind of back-to-back trios matches.
And the previous one was underwhelming for me.
Yeah. And so a little tidbit from like kind of when the match is about to start. I like that Dark Order were being kind of petty, like yeah, go on when I was, because like so like Hangman and Bucks came in. They usually do the group pose in the ring, and like Hangman's kind of hesitant because he's like, for whatever reason, because you know Hangman's Hangman.
It's a complicated guy.
Yeah, and so Dark Order's like, and he's like kind of hesitant. He looks, and then like they're like, yeah, no, go on, do your thing. Like,
yeah.
And I like kind of them being like kind of petty like that. And so I like that dynamic. That I really enjoyed Dark Order's kind of attitude here. It was cool.
Yeah, I thought it came across like they were hurt. Like I really got it from Uno and I think Reynolds the most, that it was like they're mad at Hangman, right? And
yeah,
it came across.
It's like
and for a guy in a mask to get that across is good.
Yeah, I added some like, and so yeah, it kind of led to this kind of heelish tendencies there, but like it doesn't feel heelish because you understand
They're justified. Their
their
point of view.
exactly that.
Yeah.
I think I wrote that in my match thoughts as well. Like they are justified.
Mm-hmm.
So I really liked it. And yeah, like they're kind of
And
hurt and they're kind of angry about it, and like so they're being kind of like, I don't know if petty is the right word, but like you know what I mean.
and
Like that
just
kind
because
of
Paige hurt his friend's feeling doesn't mean he's automatically a heel, right? It's
right.
those subtleties that I like. Whereas in WWE, they go, our fans are idiots. They're basically 8-year-olds. We have to make it clear he just hurt someone's feeling. He's a bad guy.
Well, and it's like every team split has to have like a face heel dynamic.
Right.
Like
Whereas this is like,
Toxic Attraction split, one of them has to turn face, you know, and like
yes,
I can only assume when Damage Control's splitting, because I've seen that like EO's gonna turn face, for example, something
Sure.
like that. But like here, like Hangman kind of split from the Dark Order, and both of them are still baby faces, just like they kind of act a little different
there's shades of
in
gray.
conjunction with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, shades. It's not all black and white,
Right.
right? And Stu Grayson not being involved kind of sucks because
He's awesome.
Stu Grayson's
Canadian.
awesome, but yeah, and he's Canadian. But
Heck yes.
Righteous is weird.
Him and ELP. That was
Mhm.
Canada versus Canada. Sorry,
That's
go ahead.
true. It was indeed. And I guess with the Righteous get some ROH representation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Hangman was saying Reynolds, we don't have to do this. That which I like all like the vocal bits in this match. And the Bucks get Nick to start the match instead, which I thought was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Bucks are really on, obviously, like between the Hangman. I think I guess that's the only real thing is the Hangman Omega feud from 2021. Dark Order were like, let's not forget that the Survivor Series style match they had at Fyter Fest. Remember with
fun.
the Dark Order entrance with Hangman. That's probably one of my favorite entrances of all time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Is the where they're all coming on. The Hangman had like the slightly different theme.
Yep.
It's the other one. It's by the same guy, so it was like it's like an altered version of his usual the Ghost Town Triumph. Not like when he changed his theme and remember it sucked hard and I hated it.
Yes, for 1 week.
It was like a good. Yeah, that was like a couple. I think he only used that theme when he came with Dark Order. Anyways, that was awesome. It's honestly gonna be weird, like, cause I go back and watch the entrance sometimes. I have the clip saved on Instagram, but like, it's probably weird now, cause like,
Probably.
I don't know, but it's I love the entrance. Anyways, like the it makes sense for like the Bucks are going hard against them, and Hangman's kind of like Hangman's out of the match for the most part.
Yeah. He's conflicted here a
mhm.
bit.
There was like when Hangman did tag in, there was some holds and counters between Hangman and Silver, and so like get him in a rear waistlock, and Silver backed him off with like a heavy back elbow, just like didn't hold back, and you can see Hangman kind of like it looked pretty heavy, and then Hangman tags out because he still doesn't really want to fight Silver, so Matt Jackson gets the tag in. Uno faces off with Matt. He took a cheap shot Hangman, so like you said, like Uno's kind of like taking pot shots at him, like
Mm-hmm.
he's not letting it go, which I like the dynamic here. Bucks hit some tag offense on Dark Order. They hit that gutbuster backbreaker thing to Reynolds, which I really love. Classic Bucks. Hangman drops from the apron briefly while the Bucks take care of Dark Order. Like I thought I would like was sounding like he was gonna leave, but like he didn't. So
Yeah, it looked like he dropped off the classic, like drop off the apron, walk up the ramp, but then he
I
just
thought-
kind of went back around the other corner.
Yeah, I thought leaving would be kind of weird.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
that would be a little much because obviously you
To
still
leave
want-
your friends 3-on-2, right?
Yeah, like you like leave your friends to like he just keeps leaving his friends like
Right.
in different scenarios. Matt gets Hangman tag him still reluctant. He tags out to Nick as we go into commercial break. Matt goes to buckle bomb Reynolds and Nixon Zagiri, the classic Buck spot. But Buck spot instead of buckshot.
Yeah.
Nice. But Reynolds counters with Hurricane Rana, so Matt goes face first and in the Zagiri. Uno gets a hot tag once again. Got a cheap shot to Hangman in there. Uno hit Nick with a power driver for 2. Hangman breaks the pin. Uno kind of goads Hangman to hit him and taunts him. And Hangman turns away, but Uno slaps him. Now Hangman tags in. He and Uno go at it for a little bit. Uno hit a cannonball off the apron to Matt later on. Silver and Reynolds hit Hangman with their signature combo flurry for a near fall, which is pretty cool.
It was
Who
awesome.
would have thunk? we
Always
would
happy to see that. Mm-hmm.
That is pretty weird. Nick hit Uno with the slingshot X Factor and then flipped on the apron, hit Reynolds with the moonsault. Love that combination. Hangman hesitated with the buckshot to Silver, or Siver, I forgot the L, I guess. As the Bucks take out Uno and Reynolds with suicide dives, and Silver counters the buckshot with a Hurricane Rana,
Mm-hmm.
and then he hits like a flurry of kicks and goes for a brainbuster, but Hangman hits a Deadeye. Then we get BT trigger to Silver, then a reluctant buckshot layer from Hangman for the win. And not too long after, Blackpool come in with a chair and a screwdriver and attack the Hung Bucks after a bit of a stare with the Dark Order. And Dark Order contempt to watch, and they proceed to exit the ring as Uno says, "You chose your friends," which I really like that. Blackpool continued the beating, and Takeshita joins in as well, looking sick as hell in a leather jacket, because he just likes to look cool, I guess. And he's like, "I look cooler than everybody else."
Yep.
Kingston goes for the save, gets beat down by Claudio and Yuta. Dark Order watch from the ramp as Mox bloodies Hangman. Hangman's kind of looking on. Mox says it's about time they finish this. And unlike the Jazz feud, I'm okay if they don't finish this, but I feel like it's probably appropriate to finish it soon. And they push each other to their limits, and now they have to go past the limit and basically blood and guts.
Blood and
July
guts.
19th.
Right. Yeah, I thought this was a fun trios match. Like, obviously, results never in doubt, but the underlying Dark Order Hangman stuff kept it from feeling random, right? And there was lots of just cool little things going on with the dynamic there, because again, Hangman is like a complex enough character to probably be like, yeah, Dark Order's not wrong, right? Like, I really didn't make any attempt. Do you know what I mean? He's insightful enough that he might actually think that. So him being a little reluctant was good, and then Uno taking liberties was good. Reynolds and Silver got their little pet sequence that we both really like.
Yeah, their flurry is really good. Cool.
And I thought Silver got a really good near fall, right, on Page. So the aftermath was totally fine too. It makes sense for Blackpool, and it gives Dark Order that opportunity to be like, yep, the final kind of screw you is we're gonna let you made your choice, we're out of here, right?
Yeah,
because I'm sure they don't want to mess with Blackpool either, right? So I thought this was like a really fun mid-show trios match.
I'm wondering if Kenny will come back, and then I guess like because then it would be the 4 elite guys and probably Eddie.
Yes,
would be kind of lame because I want a Bushi.
You do want a Bushi.
Like I feel like
feel like it's happening.
I feel like we probably won't get a Bushi, so it'll probably be Elite in Blackpool, or sorry, no, Elite in Kingston versus Blackpool and Takeshita. But Blackpool and Takeshita would need another guy because
Brian's probably not back.
I doubt it.
Me too.
So I don't know who they could get, or you do Hung Bucks and Eddie, because it depends if Kenny comes back, and I'm gonna assume he does.
Yeah.
But like, because then I don't know. I feel like you kind of need to have the whole elite in there. But and so like I guess you could. I don't know who they could find, but
somebody.
Yeah. Anyways,
first off, who was I thinking that was going to join Callis?
I remember. Oh crap! No, you told me, and I was like, I like that, and then we forgot.
It might come to me. You keep going.
God, no! But now I'm annoyed, because it was a good
decent
one
idea,
too. And I think it was someone I like. It was, who was it? I don't know. It wasn't Jungle Boy.
No.
Why did I think it was Jungle Boy?
Or was it?
No. Yeah? No.
Maybe?
No, I don't know. But who? God damn it! Now I'm annoyed. It was like,
maybe it was Jungle Boy.
No.
And then Callis could talk for him. Was that my?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like something that could work, but it doesn't sound like what you said.
Me either. Anyways,
okay,
keep going.
Keep thinking about that.
I will. It might come to me as you're saying stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So first off, Takeshita looked super cool in a leather jacket.
He did.
Just thought I'd mention that. Back to the point. I thought it was a pretty sweet TV match. The action was a lot better than the other trios match, and it was a lot cleaner. And also, I really enjoyed the story they had going on here. Hangman being reluctant to fight them and not wanting to, and kind of like being like kind of not trying not to like fight them, even though like he kind of wronged them. It kind of brought me back to the vulnerable and like down Hangman that we got a while ago when he was with the Dark Order. Like, kind of brought me back to like
brooding Hangman,
anxious millennial cowboy kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And so yeah, I like that, and I like how Dark Order were kind of like not heelish, but like had the edge to them, and you can totally understand their point of view. So I like their attitude, and I like them wanting to fight and feeling wronged, and also leaving Hangman to get beat down. Totally makes sense to me. Post match was saw Blackpool advancing again. Takeshita looks cool again. I don't know if I mentioned that. Blood and guts is expected. I'm looking forward to that. It just remains to be seen how the teams will shake out. Fingers crossed for Ibushi. Anyways, this match was good and entertaining. Did a solid job of furthering everything along. Get it yet?
Was it Ibushi?
No, it was not Ibushi.
I don't know.
Now I'm annoyed.
Anyways, keep going.
I don't know, but like,
we're already at an hour and a half here.
Noxagon own hard turning package. Basically, just anyone other than Samoa Joe and Punk say things. It doesn't really matter. It was just solid to hype up all the tourney matches. It's all inclusion, so you might have to check it out. So yeah,
I like the package, and you know what? I saw John from the John Report. He had made a really good point, and I think I copy and pasted this from him. A company that has Canadian wrestlers that named a tournament after a Canadian wrestler ends up having no Canadian wrestlers in the men's and women's tournaments, with most of the shows taking place in Canada. Very good point, John. Right?
That's pretty funny.
That
got like the same vibe as the that World Cup tournament they did in 2018 that Shane McMahon won, and everyone was American.
Right.
Or,
Very
except
similar.
for Nakamura was in a qualifying match. My mistake. But yeah, like even Rey Mysterio is like he's pretty American, so it's like that's like that's
Interesting, eh? Okay, keep
now I'm
going.
kind of disappointed in AEW. Next we get Cole and Roddy in the parking lot. Roddy says he can't trust MJF. Cole says he knows MJF is a maniac and he's just playing along. MJF comes in and says, "Hey to Roddy, generic white guy," as he
That was
refers to him
funny.
as. That was really funny. He says it's bad enough they has to wrestle every week and he doesn't want to spend the night at a wrestling show. So he says, "Let's get the hell out of here." Cole wishes Roddy good luck with Joe and leaves with MJF.
But then Cole made some reference to like he won't watch this. So they're acknowledging like that he could just go and watch the show and hear Cole admit like I'm just
Yeah, but
messing with him.
I wouldn't I guess that line explains it, but I wouldn't peg MJF as a guy who watches Dynamite anyways, just based on how his character is, so that's fine. Yeah, when he insulted Roddy with calling him a generic white guy, that was really funny. It was so mean yet kind of true.
Yes.
It's not
funny and sad.
it's not totally off base. I guess like some people in the tournament would be like, I guess you could argue like some people fit the Owen Hart, but like I don't see anyone in the tournament that's particularly akin to Owen Hart either.
No.
The closest you could get is maybe Roddy, and even then I don't know how similar he is, because
Owen flew more.
Yeah, like Roddy's probably kind of similar. Samoa Joe is definitely not like Owen Hart at all. I can't imagine CM Punk is, and well, Satoshi Kojima is such a great wrestler that like I think he's probably the most like Owen Hart, but he's out here, so he doesn't count. I can't say Hobbs and Owen Hart share a lot of similarities. I'm pretty sure Owen Hart was
think so.
a smaller white guy.
He was. Can't confirm.
Dustin Rhodes, no, because Owen Hart was never that old. I can say that because he's not alive.
That's
so
true.
It makes
That's
sense.
dark.
Thank you. Well, oh wait, you forgot to mention the Chris Benoit shirt.
And did you know that was apparently like the anniversary of the stuff happening?
It's
to
just
make it even more tasteless.
We're right about that time. Yeah, it was.
What did the shirt say? Better father than
father than Chris
Benoit, which
that is
pretty dark.
That is funny dark humor. That's really dark. Yeah. That's pretty bad. And I don't think Ricky Starks or Juice Robinson are much like him either.
No.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, all right. Next we hear from Hyde from That 70s Show.
We do.
Which I meant Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. You came into the Tarzan Boy song still.
For the last time, though.
Yeah,
he says. So. I'm interested to hear how you felt about this, actually, because we didn't talk about it.
And so, yeah, you got the fans to turn that off, and so we won't ever hear it again. You trashed the fans for being stuck here with wildfires. Canada reference. And he's going to get a car to the airport. He said that he's still young, cashing fat checks, and banging the hottest B word in this entire place. And I thought he was saying cashing fat chicks. And so, like I told you,
that's spun into
I thought that was funny because
Mike Awesome,
yeah, because I thought he was like, we're bringing back the fat chick thriller, and then obviously because he looks like Hyde from that 70s show. You mentioned Awesome's other gimmick, that 70s guy, and I was saying we could have a hybrid of that, or a hybrid if you want to call it that. Thank you. And I was thinking his gimmick should be like, screw the Dazzman, like he should be, because Anna Jay's shirt's like it's obviously censored because like there's like the peach emoji on there, but it's like fat ass bad attitude.
Right.
So I was saying he should be the fat ass chick thriller, where he just like thick girls, like, but thick with like a double C, like you know how Bronson was thick boy,
like Willow.
Kind of like Willow, like exactly. He would be interested in Willow. He's the fat ass chick thriller.
Right.
I'm gonna start calling him that if I remember. I'm probably gonna.
People love Willow.
Yeah, she's pretty good, but no. Okay, with none. Yeah.
They think she's very attractive as well.
I'm not calling her ugly, but I wouldn't follow that thread. So Jack wanted to ask Toronto a question, but it's Hamilton. Oh, so the fans.
Close.
Oh, did he get it? Okay, I don't remember.
Maybe that was unintentional heel work.
Maybe it was intended.
Or intentional.
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. Jack wondered if he turned on Hook or if Hook turned on him. He whined about losing out on 2 world championships, or being screwed, if you want to call it that. Well, Hook dangled his championship in his face, which, if you said was true, may be literal, which I would enjoy very much.
Yep.
Jack said the FTW title isn't even real. It isn't even recognized by this company, and I remembered the Taz segment from like the Mick era, and what did I? Oh yeah, it stands for fake title. What up? Jack called Hook a fraud, and Jack claimed Jungle Hook was special because of him. Jack used to be a tag team champion when he was in a team, and Hook was lucky to stand next to him. Jack. Why I keep saying my own name.
Me
He
too.
said he knows what that title means to Hook and his family, and he looked at Taz at the commentary table, and he said he wants to take the title from Hook, and when he gets his hands on him, he's gonna beat the crap out of him. Then Hook comes down, chases Jungle Boy off, runs after him, and Taz says Hook's gonna kick his ass.
Yeah, I didn't like this. I thought this was a really
Really?
one of the most generic heel turn. First of all, the leather jacket and sunglasses as your heel uniform is so
Hide.
cliched. But
I thought he sounded okay.
I just thought it was really generic. I thought he sounded okay at times, and then sometimes he didn't. I don't know. I thought this was just heel 101 basically, right? And I was hoping for something a little more interesting than this. This was all very super generic
I
to
could
me.
see that. Yeah.
And I thought his delivery was only okay at times. And it's a weird situation because I think he has to beat Hook, right?
Yeah.
And Hook
I think it
hasn't
was a solid
lost.
first fray, and yeah, I feel like he does have to beat
I thought
Hook.
this was weak.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I thought you might be different.
And I feel like he could beat Hook because I think Hook
I
is.
think he has to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think realistically, I think he could. I think Hook is kind of due for a loss now. Like he's not as hot as he was, so I don't think it's as important. And I think Jungle Boy needs a win more to solidify the heel turn, and then also you could get rid of the stupid fake belt that no one cares about.
Yep.
It's not even like Hook's defending it, because remember sometimes they have the phony defenses. He's
Yeah.
not even defending it. Let's be honest, and it doesn't matter.
You know how I know I was getting tired at this point? My notes start to get short and snide a little bit. My notes as we go on here.
Yeah. The only issue I had was kind of he's justifying the turn on a fake title, which he can want to take out Hook for the same reason to for dangling a fake title, but I don't know why Jungle Boy wants it.
Yeah.
But I guess just to take it from Hook, it's kind of weird to me, but that's okay. I mean, hopefully he takes it, and then we can get rid of the title. I thought it was solid. He's still got some work to do, I think.
I agree quite a bit, but whatever. He's probably never been a heel before, so
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's no chance. I just thought this was very, very, very basic stuff.
Yeah. Next we have Ruby Soho versus Alexia Nicole, Ontario's own.
So my notes: Ruby Soho versus Canadian Girl. I couldn't even.
I do recognize the name actually.
Yeah.
Back heel trip and a ground and pound from Soho. Parasite to suplexes, but she pulls her up from the pin early. Then does the lockjaw to mock Baker because Baker's sick, so she's out this time. And so they were supposed to get Baker and Soho, but they didn't. So yeah, Ruby wins with the lockjaw. She has a bit of a promo after. It's not really much. She's just saying she knows who she is now. On their first match, Baker is sick like Cole was. They're gonna have weak kids
because of this Jeremy town in Canada. Blah blah blah.
Outcasts have taken everything from her, and next week she'll take her opportunity to win the tournament again and leave her with nothing. Something like that.
Leave her with what you are. Nothing.
Yeah. So it was a fine squash match. It's just slightly interesting because I've seen the jobber, I know who the jobber is. I don't think we've seen her in person, but I've seen her advertise for stuff, and I do recognize her. I feel like she was in PWI before, but that was fine. That was neat because of Ontario. It sucks that for them that they don't get Baker and Soho, but that's, I guess, at least one of the local people gets a spotlight then. And then I guess we'll get the match next week, which should be good.
I thought the promo was actually really good. I was very impressed with. I know that sounds crazy, but I thought she was engaging enough that I forgot she was part of this annoying group and this annoying angle. And just thought that she did really.
I like the callback to their because that was her first feud when she came in.
If it's just a heel cutting a promo on Britt Baker without thinking about any of the stuff around it that I really can't stand, I thought she did really, really well, and I was maybe the best Ruby Soho promo I've heard. So I thought that was good. It's just too bad it's attached to this never-ending angle that I don't really care about, right? Mm-hmm. But I thought she performed really well there.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy.
You want another good promo?
What?
Next to QTV, speaking.
Oh, and then they quickly did which I was glad to see. They did the highlight of Rampage with Caster,
Bowens,
telling what's her face that he's gay, and then the crowd. Wrestling's come a long way. The crowd is chanting he's gay positively, which is amazing, right? When you think about the stuff I lived through, the Attitude Era and other things. How bad all of that stuff was to have this chant be a positive thing in 2023 is good for wrestling fans, right? Progressive people, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool.
It was a cool moment.
And then we get John Morrison speaking to me.
We do. And I have
to
some,
my face
yeah, I have some brief thoughts
on
on
my
that.
TV, where my face is looking at it with my eyeballs.
My notes say QTV with Johnny Mundo because I'm apparently regressing to Lucha Underground for him.
It's Johnny TV, okay.
And then, yes, what does he
QT
say?
Marshall says last Wednesday. It was Friday because Rampage. I guess he's not that smart.
No, he's
Or
not.
he's thinking in tape speak because they probably taped it on Wednesday. So, touche. We saw the debut of Johnny TV. I'm going to call him Morrison because Johnny TV is a stupid name. At least for now until I get used to it. But, like, because I don't want to call him, like, because either I have to call him Johnny or I have to call him TV, you know, because we always shorten it to one. So that's why I'm, like, calling him Morrison because I don't want, like, TV says, you know what I mean? Morrison says Johnny TV is officially in production. And on Friday, Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy, will
Right.
find out.
I
You keep
forgot who
forgetting.
that was.
Yeah. They'll find out. They always make hits or something like that. Harley Cameron does a weird noise like Isaiah Cassidy usually does. And so you were forgetting who she is because she's just
I do keep forgetting.
she's just QTV's random female person. So I was comparing it to like when Nightmare Collective had Mel B and she was just random.
Right. Apparently she
Except
rapped.
hopefully she doesn't wrestle.
She rapped on that segment right before she was hitting on Bowens.
I don't want to know.
That's what I heard. Anyways.
Yes, this is whatever. I don't care about QTV whatsoever. Adding John Morrison doesn't exactly entice me. Giant TV isn't exactly his best or most creative name either. Also, it's funny that it's just Matt and Isaiah because Jeff no come to Canada.
Correct.
Sucka.
My notes say awful on all fronts. Johnny and Harley sounded awful, and this faction needs to go away. I have no problem with Mundo, but he is not needed in AEW. I thought they sounded really bad.
Yeah,
he
I
can
really
sound
like him.
sometimes really. He's never really somehow gotten good at promos. I like him. He's fine in the ring, but I don't. He's not needed in this group. I don't need at all.
Yeah, I agree completely. And at least it appears that Hobbs is out of sight.
Right.
Hopefully,
Get away
that's
from this.
permanent. Yeah, I don't know why that was ever
Because he's cool.
a thing.
Hobbs is cool.
Next we get Sting and Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. Oh, sorry. My mistake. Painmaker. I wrote Painmaker Jericho here. I apologize. So some notables from the match. Darby won right after Sammy in the broadside, allowing Sting and Jericho. Sorry, Painmaker.
I expected you for spite
face
to
off.
call him every name he's known by other than Painmaker. Like you go through
Okay.
Jericho and Lionheart and YT.
All right, let's do that. I'll do that starting now.
Out of spite.
All right, let's. I wish I'd thought of, but now we're gonna do that.
Because he has a lot of names to go by, right?
I'll dig as
You would have
deep
put
as I
in
can.
work on this if you thought
I'll
of
do
it.
it. I'll do it right now. Starting now. Okay, so then we get a baseball bat duel. Okay, I have to like do this without. Okay, I got it. Well, I can do the first one normally. Coffin splash followed by a stinger splash to Jericho in the corner. Y2J and Sammy send Darby into the stairs. They move near the barricade. So Darby does the thing where he like flips over the stairs and he hits
Crazy.
back off the barricade. Like I love that. That looks pretty
And
nuts.
he
like, hit
live
back
is
or something.
so fast. Like
Yeah.
from the angle we were where it's almost bird's eye.
Yeah,
Like he's crazy.
he's really fast. Okay. I really gotta think. Okay. I got one other one so
Lionheart's
far.
available.
Right. Why didn't it? Okay, I'm dumb. Diving cutter off the barricade from Sammy to Darby as the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla
Nice.
and Sting a brawl in the crowd. Coffin drop to the outside to Sammy. Sting dives off a ladder in the ring to put Sammy through a table with a splash. There were two tables, but naturally only one of them cooperated because
That
That's
table
how
ended
that
up
happens.
being a problem. Not even for the reason I thought.
because it didn't stitch Sting.
It's
right?
the one
Yeah.
that caught him, but it was broken, and even the commentary pointed it out. Like I don't know, Taz or whoever was
Yeah.
like, "That table's not gonna, like he should
Yeah.
get a new table," and he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a skateboard stomp from the top rope to Lionheart's back for 2. Le Champion
Nice.
throws the ladder at Darby's back a few times.
Wizard.
The wizard, thank you, counters a springboard coffin drop by hitting Darby with a skateboard. And then he hits a Judas effect, but Darby falls out of the ring. Chris, we'll go with that, locks
Nice.
Sting in the walls of Painmaker. Right?
Yeah.
We'll do that because it's obviously different. It looked really weak. And Sting is able to grab a bat to hit.
I don't know.
Oh crap.
Was he
Ran
the?
out of things.
I don't know.
No. I feel like there was something really because remember we had the code thing and there was something like that. I don't
I don't know.
I'm disappointed. Crap.
Maybe he doesn't have that many. Names.
I swear he's got more than that. Like
You should have planned better.
the man of 1,004 holds.
There you go.
Nice. And he escapes. There's still one more. Sting runs for a Stinger Splash, but I swear we gotta have one more. I was thinking of something with the list, but
I don't have one more.
like the guy with there's some like the list was a thing, but I don't really think there's like a nickname that applies to that.
Me either.
The guy with the list hits a code breaker for 2. Sting counters a Judas effect and hits a Scorpion Death Drop for 2. Sting counters the code breaker, attempting the Scorpion Deathlock, and submits. We'll just go with Jericho for the win. I guess that's why I didn't do that, because
My 2 notes on this match. Ready? Like kids having a lightsaber battle. What was that referring to?
the baseball bat.
Right, because it
duel.
looked like they were trying to hit each other's bats, right? Like when you and your brother would light, and you don't want to hit each other in the face, so you're just like, anyways. And then my only other one, I don't think you mentioned it. Watch Jericho cut himself.
Oh yeah.
You could watch him bleed in the middle of this match.
Yeah.
I
I'm
thought
just like, oh my god, he's bleeding.
I thought this was just okay. For
Yeah.
me, there wasn't enough wrestling, and it focused on the 2 guys I don't really want to see
Yeah.
out of the 4, right?
Yeah, Sammy especially, I thought really
didn't do
felt like
much.
he was dead after the splash spot.
So it's mostly just some spots and then a lengthy Jericho Sting sequence. Not a worthy main event. I don't need to see Sting doing stuff like this, because it's honestly pushing it a little bit, right?
Especially with him like having to get stitched up after that. Like
he
he
smashed
shouldn't
his
be
face off that.
he shouldn't be doing that. Like
Of course not.
I don't
It
like,
was pretty far from the ring, right? Like,
Yeah. I don't want him doing that because A, I don't care and it's not interesting to me. B, he's old, so like A, he shouldn't be doing that because it's lame, and
Right.
B, because I'm not trying to get Sting killed here, right?
Right. I feel like every spot like this we have, we're one spot closer to disaster.
Dude,
like,
he almost died on a buckle bomb.
I'm not a young man,
So-
and he's like 18 years older than me, and I'm not jumping off a ladder through a table.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't imagine.
Right, like
anyways,
so. Yeah, I
didn't
know
love
if
it
he
as
should
a
be
main
doing
event.
Yeah, it was fine, man. I'm sure people love this a lot more than I did, and also you. I wouldn't say it was like bad, but I don't think it was great either. Some of the action was solid. Just I didn't find there was enough of Sammy and Darby, and then like it was just like it feels like they were just working in between like the major spots.
Mhm.
And like Darby's barricade bump and the cutter from Sammy was pretty cool, but the rest of the action was slow. Sting dive was a high point, air quotes, I guess. But I don't find that as strong as most people will, I assume. Jericho and Sting in a match together for an extended period of time wasn't great as I expected. Finish and outcome was predictable, so I can only hope this feud is put to rest after this, because who really cares? And hopefully we go back to the Sammy and Jericho issue because they lost here, and Sammy can leave Jazz, and hopefully we never see the Painmaker ever again because who really cares?
Yeah, you're right. The Sammy stuff's really been backburnered. It
Yeah,
feels
it kind
like.
of got pushed
Was
under
it
the rug
even
for
like
this.
any tension or anything in this match? I don't
No,
feel like there
not
was.
really, because it was mostly just focusing on Sting and
Right.
Jericho. So, yeah, and like I know the whole like thing where he brings up the Lionheart was kind of weird, but let's be honest, I like that better than the
Yeah,
Painmaker, because
Me too.
at least they don't act like that's a whole alter ego. That's just like him kind of like quote unquote going back to his roots, which is fine. But the like Painmaker's dumb.
And it's just like he's silly Jericho in Jazz most of the time.
Yeah.
And then he's like silly on commentary when I watch Rampage or whatever, right? And then
which
it's like,
I like. I'm not saying it's bad. But
no, but it's just a stark contrast. It
well,
doesn't
and
work
it's
for
like
me.
it doesn't even feel that serious either. It's just he's like wearing darker stuff and he's got
Right.
slight face paint. It's just dumb.
Overall, this show, the opener was by far my match of the night, so I liked that quite a bit. Disappointing triple threat or trios, I guess, with Cassidy, Vikingo, Lee. I didn't really love that. Elite Dark Order was fun. Women's match was kind of nothing, right? And then the main event. So disappointing in ring show. I like the MJF Cole stuff. Most of the segments kept my interest. Nothing was absolutely amazing. The Jungle Boy turn was disappointing, but then Ruby Soho surprisingly kind of made up for it with, I thought, a really good promo. This feels like a B- show to me. The in-ring stuff wasn't good enough for it to be higher than that, but I did like the show. It was entertaining, but not one of their stronger ones, so a B- for me.
All right. Yeah, so I would say like it's kind of a mixed bag of show because there's some things like you were saying that were really good, and then some things that weren't great. I think the opener was really that was really good. I think like obviously isn't really a main event match, but just based on match strength alone, I would put it as a main event just because like
Mhm.
it was better. No, I'm not saying it really is a main event match, but just from how I like things,
Same.
obviously I like it a lot better. I liked any of the MJF and M Cole bits. I thought both of those were really entertaining, and I'm looking forward to more of that because it was really entertaining. I like that. I like all of John and Eddie's issues. Like I like
Yep.
all those squabbles. I think those were really nice. That was really nice and realistic. The first trios match was okay. It was a little underwhelming because of the issues, but I think it was still solid. I like all the Hung Bucks Dark Order business, and that match was really nice as well. Jericho and Guevara were the post match stuff from the Hung Bucks match was okay. Or sorry, no, it was solid, yeah. And the Blood and Guts should be good. Owen Hart stuff was fine. Jungle Boy I thought was okay. I don't think it was as bad as you thought, but
Bad.
I do I do definitely think he needs work, and hopefully because I want to like it.
Yeah.
I think he has potential, and so I hope he improves because I want to like it for sure. Soho versus the Squash was fine. Her promo was pretty solid. QTV no. Paintmaker match, nah, that was okay. Yeah, I'd give it a B- as well. Like little bit of a lackluster follow from Forbidden Door, but
Yep, I think so too.
It's just you can't, what are you gonna do after Osprey and Omega?
Right. All right, well, that's going to wrap up our AEW talk for the week, and we'll take a little break from recapping stuff and see what AI has trivia for you this week on what we call Off the Top of His Head. All right, so this week, hoping this works, the prompt, I like to read you my exact prompt, or where is it? 15 multiple choice questions with answers about the best WWE Money in the Bank cash-ins. So we're on the Money in the Bank
Rollins.
theme. Okay. Who holds, and I see we may have to fact check some of these, we'll see. Who holds the record for the shortest time in between winning Money in the Bank and cashing it in?
Kane.
Are you confident in that?
Wait, are we doing men or women?
This one is men's.
I think
Kane's not even an option.
Well, I think he had 50 minutes.
So they're saying Seth Rollins.
Wait. Sorry. Read the question again.
Shortest time between winning and cashing in.
That is so wrong.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you know because I don't. It's allowed to be
That
wrong.
would imply he cashes in on the same show, correct?
I would think so.
He held it until Mania like the next year, so he's probably got one of the longer times.
Of course.
Money in the Bank, actually.
Nice work, AI.
That's why I thought King, because I think I've seen the stats. He's had like 50 minutes or something, which you would think would be that.
That makes sense to me. Which WWE superstar successfully cashed in Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania 31?
Seth Rollins. I just mentioned. I swear to God.
Sheamus, you're wrong.
No. No. No.
I think these are going to be really wrong. Who became the first wrestler to fail in their Money in the Bank cash-in attempt? I know this.
It was Cena.
So I think you're right. I know Sandow is who they're saying. I know he failed too.
He was the year after.
But Cena was first, right?
Yeah, Cena's first. Who are they saying?
I believe you.
Who did they say?
They said Sandow.
No.
Which I know he lost, but he wasn't the first, I don't think.
No, he was the second.
Which Money in the Bank cash-in took place at WrestleMania 20?
Wait. Read it again just to make sure.
Which Money in the Bank cash-in took place at WrestleMania 20?
Okay, so there's two things wrong with this.
All right, go ahead.
First off, one, Seth Rollins was the first to cash in a Mania, and he's the only person to cash in a Mania, and that was at Mania 31. So that rules that out.
So it's not Edge, is what you're saying.
No. And here's the second reason why it's wrong. The first Money in the Bank ladder match was at WrestleMania 21.
Awesome. Love it. Super wrong.
Money in the Bank didn't even exist at this point.
Beautiful.
And Edge cashed in 2006. So he wouldn't even have cashed in at Mania 21 if you want to go there.
Wow. All right. Who did CM Punk cash in his Money in the Bank contract against?
There's two answers. It's either Edge or Jeff Hardy because he's cashing on both of them. So either answer is correct.
So their options were there, but they said it's Cena. So you're wrong again.
It was Edge, and then I think Jeff Hardy was the second one. So I think in order, it's Edge and Jeff Hardy.
Well, here you go. Who's cashed in the Money in the Bank contract twice?
Edge, Punk, and Miz. If you wanted to cash-ins, they have.
They said Seth Rollins.
No.
And Edge, Punk, and Miz are not even on the list of available
They've
options.
all, because Punk actually won it twice, right? Obviously.
Yes.
And Edge, remember, he took Kennedy's briefcase because he was injured, but they misjudged it. And then Miz took Otis's briefcase. So I'm right.
But they cashed it in twice, yes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Punk actually won it twice.
Which superstar held the Money in the Bank contract the longest time before cashing it in?
Rollins.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you know. It's Big Show, but maybe not.
Wait, they are saying Big Show won Money in the Bank? He didn't even win it.
So they're definitely wrong.
They are most definitely wrong.
Who became the first female wrestler to win Money in the Bank?
Carmella.
Hey, ding ding.
I was hoping they would say Rollins had the longest one, so they would contradict their first question.
Is it the first one they got right?
Yeah.
So it took on question number 8, they got one right. They're having a bad week this week. Who successfully cashed in the Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania 23?
No.
Nobody?
Because remember, Rollins is the first Mania cash in 31, so no one.
Rob Van Dam, you're wrong.
No,
You're dumb.
okay. No, because he cashed in. Remember, he did like the announced cash in, and he had a match at
Correct.
One Night Stand in 2006, the year before this.
Which is just terrible strategy to announce when you're going to do it instead of.
That was ECW.
Who cashed in Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania 29?
No one.
Dolph Ziggler, you're wrong.
No, he cashed in the Raw after, remember? You know that one.
Yes, because that was the big one. Who cashed in Money in the Bank contract against Roman Reigns on the same night they won it? Alexa Bliss is one of the options. You want to hear your options?
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss,
No.
Baron Corbin, Otis, Braun Strowman.
None of those are right.
Baron Corbin.
No,
How dare you?
because he cashed in on Jinder Mahal, not on the same night Andy failed. I was thinking, because at first I thought they meant Rollins, because he cashed in on Lesnar when Lesnar was champion as the 3, and obviously pinned Roman. But then I thought they might have meant Ambrose and got it slightly wrong, because he cashed in on the same night, but he beat Rollins, who beat Reigns for the title.
Right.
But they were completely off. So they weren't even like close.
Love it. I think this will be another easy one. Which Money in the Bank cash-in took place at WrestleMania 22?
No.
None.
They didn't.
But it was Edge.
It didn't. No.
Who cashed in Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania 31?
Rollins.
Correct. Hey, 2.
I swear they mentioned that already.
2 for 13.
I feel like they're going back.
Who became the first female wrestler to successfully cash in?
Carmella.
Not even an option. You're wrong.
So according to ChatGPT, she won the first one, but she didn't cash it in.
Alexa Bliss.
She was the second, but sure.
Okay. Last one. Who cashed in Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania 26? Nobody. Is that the answer?
No one.
It's not The Miz or Jack Swagger or Alberto Del Rio.
Jack Swagger won it, but he didn't cash in.
All right. Well, ChatGPT had a bad week.
Yeah.
Like maybe 2 out of 15.
I'm hoping so it'll be interesting.
That's
like
awful.
for Money in the Bank, I'm hoping EO doesn't cash in tonight if she wins, because I picked her.
Did you?
Yeah, and I'm hoping
Yeah, we
whoever
still have to do
wins,
that too. This is going to be so long.
I'm hoping whoever wins, because the women always cash in on the same night.
All right, let's get moving. So
like
we'll
it's EO.
move into our next segment, looking at the rest of the week's stuff, what we liked and didn't, and what we call high spots and rest holds. All right, so you're taking a pass on Raw. You said nothing you came across that you thought was worthy.
Nothing.
So I'll move right into NXT, which in a nutshell was a really good show in ring, I thought, with several good matches, including the opener you watched. Some of it, I think, was Stratton and Thea Hale.
I don't think I paid attention. I think I was there, but I don't think I paid attention at all.
So Stratton retained her championship. She defeated Hale in a pretty good, I thought, 10-minute match that saw Stratton dominate for stretches, but Thea Hale also got some time because she's mostly trying to looking for an opportunity to hook in the Kimura that she's been working on with Dempsey and Gulak. So I actually thought this was quite good. We got a visual tap out from Hale's Kimura, but the ref was distracted. And then Hale released the hold and Stratton rolled her up for the win there. And then you get Dempsey and Gulak after the match are mad at Hale and are kind of
I remember the finish. That was lame.
Yelling at her. So Hudson steps in. They start brawling, but it's numbers game, obviously, until Andre Chase makes his triumphant return. And I thought the match was planned out really well. Stratton looked dominant through stretches, impressive offense, and Hale was like the scrappy, energetic youngster who even got like a tap at one point, right, with the ref distracted.
Oh, yeah, the phantom tap.
So entertaining match, bodes well for the future because both of these women are still pretty new to this, I think, especially Hale's like 19. And it also furthered the Hale Gulak stuff, and I imagine we're getting a tag team match, right, with Gulak, Dempsey, and Chase U, I would assume. So
Yeah,
a good opener, I thought. Another thing I liked, there was a really cool Dragunov vignette. It was just him talking about choosing to endure pain and all that kind of stuff. Just more great, believable intensity. He just has the ability to be like an intensity level that I would find cheesy if other people did it, works for him somehow, right? So it's really easy to believe that he is this guy, so I liked it. Resthold was more Dana Brooke. So she's nursing injury from last week. Remember, she was selling the knee to the point of like a fake stretchering out sort of thing. Some rookie comes up. I think it's
I saw that and I was like, who is that?
So they're both gymnasts. So it's like, oh, you're an inspiration, blah, blah, blah. And when I get better, I'd love to work with you.
I thought it was funny that she's inspired by Dana Brooke, who's done nothing of any real note.
Kalani Jordan. So
that's not a notable name.
No. I thought pretty decent tag team match, right? We got a nice contrast. You had Malik Blade and Idris Enofe taking on Gallus. So it's like high-flying, fast guys against kind of like brawling ground guys like Gallus. So I like that. And you had Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo watching from like a platform up in the crowd. So you had Stack show up for this one. Obviously, you're assuming he's going to attack Gallus because they're mad at him for snitching on Tony D, apparently. But then he accidentally, quote unquote, I guess, hits Anafe instead. And then he throws Anafe into the ring to show it. I guess it wasn't an accident, or I'm a little confused. Gallus hit their combo finisher for the win after 13 minutes. And I thought this was an entertaining match as well. Blade and Anafe could be a useful babyface team. They need to develop more as characters and stuff, but in ring they're pretty fun to
I
watch.
feel like if Nafe turned heel, he'd be interesting because he has like he's got like he just obviously neither of them have the
He's
character.
got
but
some
like
swag for
yeah,
sure.
he's got some swag. That's what it is.
And so we're led to believe here, right, that now, so what's going on? Stax is sort of on the side of Gallus helping them. What's going on? And we'll get more information on that in a bit. Resthold, I thought, and I forgot you were in the room for some of this, was the Schism sitting down to discuss the status of their group. Just a lot of stuff I didn't need to hear. I really don't like Ava's delivery of stuff.
Yeah,
Takes me out
I
of
didn't
it
like her
a little
either.
bit. There's something going on there that I really don't like. Anyways, the Creed shows up. The Creed show up. They don't want Schism here anymore, etc., etc.
I like James Drake here. I refuse to call him
He's
Jagger.
speaking more than he used to. Seems like he used to
Yeah,
always
and
be
they
Gibson.
even made like the note that he didn't in GYV.
Right. So Gacy ends up volunteering the Dyad for a loser leaves town match against the Creeds to further the tension within Schism as well, I guess, right? And my notes at this time before spoiling, looks like the Dyad are done. Here's hoping they go somewhere that can be used better than they have been, but maybe not, right?
Perhaps.
This segment was just too long. Ava's not good on the mic, and the Creeds aren't exactly great either at this point. And then I put a high spot, I think, because I guess we'll have to see the payoff. But have you seen the new tag team they're teasing? Have you seen this new tag team they're teasing on NXT? Lucian Price and Bronco Nima.
Oh, level up, guys.
So they're talking about their history playing football together, and they're not in NXT to play. They're there to dominate.
Bronco Nima's got one of those moves like the thing MVP does.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of him months ago of him doing because he calls himself Big Body G.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds great.
That's character infringement, gimmick infringement on Javi.
But he did something like that, and it looked really lame. But he had one of those. He has one of those lame kind of moves. I don't know if he still does that, but I've seen a clip of that.
They're big dudes and they have good energy, so I'm interested to see what we get. I'm sure they're super green or whatever, but if you ease them in and you don't focus on them too much, this is developmental.
Those are level up guys.
High spot for me, just because personally for me, it's Axiom denying that he's in a tag team with Reggie. So he's kind of backstage talking to Hank and Tank, and it's basically like something about you guys could be a great tag team. And he says he's drawn to the Heritage Cup, which is a much better fit for Axiom. So just happy that he's not tagging with Reggie
and
for now.
He's never held it before, so
right, exactly. And that leads me to a high spot. I really enjoyed the Heritage Cup match this week. It was Nathan Frazier.
I saw a clip of I saw the end when Dragon Lee was handing him the cup, and so the first thing I see is him holding it. I was like, "What? They changed it again already?"
You can't tell who's handing it to who in a still shot, right?
Yeah. No, it was like a video, but the first thing I see is the Dragon Lee holding the cup. So I was just I assumed he won for a second.
So Fraser was accompanied by Leone, and Dragon Lee was accompanied by Feroz for whatever reason.
Because they helped them or they helped Fraser in the other one,
right.
I guess.
The first round was slow as usual, each guy kind of feeling each other out, more grappling than you're going to get later on. And then in the second round, Fraser countered a Frankensteiner into a pinfall with about a minute left to end that round. And then Lee hit a sit-out powerbomb in round 4 to even things at 1-1, and the pace starts to pick up, right? And because each man's now frantically trying to get that final fall, and this is when things pick up. I liked it. There was it was an odd. Do you remember seeing the botched pinfall count right before the finish? They were trying to say Dragon Lee kicked out, but he didn't.
I don't think I watched this match.
Oh, you didn't?
So No, I don't think so.
It was like a roll up. It was attempted pinfalls all over the place, and he didn't kick out of when he was supposed to. And then the pinfall, it was like one more reversal, and it was over. Really good match. I'm hoping people start to get into these matches. This one was better than previous, I think. These two guys are awesome. They'd be hard pressed to have a bad match, but I really like how this match built. And I'm just wondering, is Dar actually hurt? Have you heard anything? You want to look that up for me?
Sure.
Because I hope that they come back around to giving him the cup. I thought he was perfect for it, and he just seems to be. I'm convinced he must be hurt because they've gone from multiple times a show he's doing stuff to not at all now. Other than I guess he had a quick segment on this one. But anyways, Something I didn't really like was Gable Steveson is training Eddie Thorpe ahead of his underground match with Kemp. And so they're doing these cute little jokes hinting that Gable and Kemp are brothers. Something about like, I know his parents will be there to watch or something. Ha ha ha, right? So we don't have any idea who Steveson is at this point as NXT viewers. So why is he worthy of training somebody? Like the guy hasn't even had a match, but he's training somebody else for a match, right? So that's a bit strange.
I
Um,
can't. I look like I just they're just talking about his storyline injuries. I'm
so
gonna keep looking.
I'm assuming Gable's going to turn, and then he and Kemp will maybe form like yet another brother tag team, I guess, to face the Creeds or something. But anyways, I don't need Steveson. I didn't think this was very good, and I haven't cared about
I
Thorpe
can't.
yet either.
Can't find a confirmation. That's annoying.
Weird. Resthold for me was Kiana James versus Gigi Dolan.
Oh, I saw the paint thing.
Pretty ordinary 9-minute match. So Dolan won with the crucifix bomb, and then yes, after the match, Kiana James uses her big old purse. That, of course, if you're gonna use a purse as a weapon, what would you put in it? Cans of paint, obviously. And she dumps the paint on top of Dolan for a decent visual. It was like bright. I don't know if it's orange and blue or some kind of
2.0. Oh, they should have done this in the 2.0 era. That would have been actually funny.
Bright paint. Nothing exciting. Just kind of there. This match. High spot. I like Joe Coffey went to visit Tony D'Angelo in prison, and he basically ends up saying he thinks it's Stax, and D'Angelo refuses to believe it because Stax is so loyal. And then Coffey plays an incriminating audio file of Stax saying that he's done being the underboss and there's going to be a new dawn on the streets.
Yeah, so that was like one of those things where like kind of misconstrue the words.
It sounds like it's him in one consistent flowing thing. It sounds real. So I like this. Coffee was cool here. Tony's still a bit of a cartoon character that takes, if he would just dial back the accent like 15%, he could play this a little bit straight, but it's too humorous. And then a high spot. I really like the main event. It was Carmelo Hayes successfully defending his championship against Baron Corbin in what I thought was a very good 17-minute match. Corbin's back to doing the lone wolf for this, which is great.
He even had they went like retro theme because I thought they would go they gave him a new theme like some way midway into the main roster run. I Bring the Darkness, but they went back to the OG NXT thing.
And other than missing the stringy hair, he looked like previous lone wolf. He had a lone wolf T-shirt on until he didn't. But anyways,
which also makes sense because he used to wrestle shirtless more often.
Yeah, I think Corbin's kind of methodical style works in NXT. I was telling you, he's so much bigger than the average NXT guy, right? Like any NXT guy that I want pushed is like pretty small, right? So you've got
Mello. Mello's great, but he's obviously a smaller stature.
Mello, Tyler Bate, Axiom. Who else do I love? Dragunov, Fraser, all those guys. Dragon Lee, right? So I think Corbin can be a really effective big man at this level.
And he's not like horrible,
and he has some cool offensive.
I've always liked his finisher. Yeah.
Like the deep six he hit here looked amazing in this match. The speed that he spun and the impact on it looked great. So, anyways, Corbin kind of dominates early, including a huge spot where he just hit a big boot on the floor, and Carmelo did a complete flip. It looked awesome.
Does he still do that fake out clothesline thing?
He didn't this match, but I think he did before. I think he still is.
I forgot about that.
Mello gains momentum. He takes control, and then Corbin hit that deep six, and then a cool choke slam backbreaker as well, and then a power bomb onto the announce table. So he looked kind of like a monster here. It was good. Apron DDT eventually, and the nothing but net from Mello for the win here. I thought a really good match, and I have not been a huge fan of Baron Corbin, but he looked like a dominant big man here. And I didn't think there was any world where Mello was losing, but the match was really good, and I thought Corbin was impressive. Moving to Impact quickly, good opener with a surprise appearance, right? Sabin beat Trey Miguel by DQ because who returned? What's his first name?
Zachary Wentz.
Zachary Wentz runs in to stop a cradle shock from Sabin, and then the Rascals beat down Sabin until Shelley comes out to make the save. Pretty much what you'd expect from these two guys. Good action in a 10-minute opener. Resthold, Zicky Dice and Johnny Swinger stuff. So Dice got certified as a ref, if you remember. So in a BTI match, he obviously quick counted to get Johnny his first win. So he's all excited. But then an actual ref came and said, we're taking away that win. And if you do it again, you're getting stripped of. And I've already spent too much time. It's dumb. Leo Rush returned, which I thought I liked. It was not much more than a squash match against the guy. I can't remember his name that was in the gut check. They said he was a finalist or something.
Ooh, that's a deep cut.
I was just happy to see him there, and he makes another appearance in a little bit. So
remember him and Dante Martin?
I kind of thought that yes, I love that team. I thought he was just kind of passing through Impact, but it seems like he's going to get a bit of attention here. I like the Dirty Dango segment again this week. he basically, and I don't know if this is true or not. It sounded like it was. He's saying that he wanted to talk about how Santino Morella's career started. So he's saying that back whenever an OVW, Jim Cornette slapped him across the face because
heard about
Morella was laughing at the content or whatever, or making fun of it.
I think I want to say it was. I don't know why. I think it was Boogeyman related.
And so then,
No.
maybe.
Maybe.
Because then what he's
But
saying,
I've heard about that. I know I have.
what they were saying is you got a contract because they were afraid of a lawsuit off of Cornette slapping you. And that's now led you to this career, and that's now led you to your daughter being involved, and he takes a shot at her.
That, yeah, I think that's true.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. My problem, right, is that the payoff looks like I'm getting Dango and Morella. Although we saw Morella live not long ago, and he's in good shape and can still go.
He is in solid ring shape.
It's more interesting than D'Amore, which we'll get to. Then I thought there was a strong women's match, right? I texted you to be like, I think I'm actually looking forward to Masha Slamovich, Kylan King.
Well, half of Masha, and then King's not horrible.
I think King's pretty good, right? So Masha, a physical match, and Masha wins with the snowplow after about 8 minutes. So Wild kept getting involved, Taylor Wilde, and cheating. So eventually Killer Kelly came out and choked Wild with a chain on the ramp, allowing Masha to win. So again, it looks like we're getting Killer Kelly and Masha as a tag team, which I am fine with. If you don't, I think they're both single stars, but if you don't have that in the books right now, then let's get them on TV in this capacity. I'm fine with this. Then there was a high spot I did not expect. I thought a fantastic, super long Scott D'Amore segment. So
it was good.
Really good. Like talking about his entire history, like who trained him, who he's trained. He invented invented the Canadian Destroyer.
Did he?
Yes.
Did he actually?
That's what they're saying. Multiple people on here, like, this guy invented it, right? I think it was Kushida saying, like, basically Kushida was just a wrestling fan and D'Amore got him a job and whatever. Like, really cool, really, really deep dive into D'Amore's history. And this whole idea, like, sure, I was never a champion or the main guy on the card, but I was in this industry grinding.
It kind of sounds like the bit that Shelley had where he's, like, trained everyone. Now he's, like... And he's obviously not like world champion.
Sure, I was never like a main event player, but I've grinded out a living in this very difficult job for whatever. Again, the only problem is the payoff. I don't want to see it. Like, this segment was great, and it's going to get me as close to being interested in a D'Amore match as you can at this point, but I'm still not. But the segment itself was fantastic, I thought. Joe Hendry did another video after a pretty good Kenny King Yui Uemura match. King won with the Royal Flush, and then Hendry came out and played his newest video, which is about basically that Kenny King dropped off the wrestling map around 2013. So it had a little timeline of like 2012 you're doing this, and then 2017 I think you come back, and then it all led to the payoff was that, and it's true, he was off being a stripper. Like, he was part of the Chippendales, I think, which is like a male stripping group basically. And the reaction of the crowd when he first hit the stripper Kenny refrain, the crowd went bananas for this. So
I saw that they posted that again, so I might have to check it out then.
And then the final Resthold, I thought the segment to end the show was just far too long, and I feel like they really trusted Nick Aldis to go and be some sort of engaging promo. I thought he was rambling and being a little bit generic here. And he was talking about, like, he became a champion way faster than Alex Shelley, blah, 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 heel stuff, right? Shelley got a bit of...
he was champion for a while, too.
He was. Shelley got a bit of a rebuttal, and then he and Aldis start to fight. Shelley gets run into the post. Sabin comes out to try and stop an Aldis belt shot, and then Leo Rush returns out of nowhere. And so the machine guns get beat down, and the heels hold up the belts at the end of the show. So if you have this little co-op of... Aldis going after the main belt and Rush going after the X Division, and they're going to work together because of that, like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
even though I'm not an Aldis fan, I like Leo Rush, and them sort of agreeing to help each other out for now, it works for me. I thought Aldis just droned on too long here, and it wasn't some of his best heel work, I didn't think. And I just don't like ending shows with segments unless it's a big deal. Magnus. Yes. So anything from SmackDown, I kind of ripped
the only
through that.
thing that I had was, I told you about it, I watched, like, because they always post, like, when they post about matches, they always post, like, little bits of the matches.
Yeah.
And it was LA Knight, Butch, and Escobar from SmackDown. So that was, I only watched the clip that they provided, which is, like, the tail end of it.
Yeah.
And from what I watched, it looked, like, pretty good. Like,
Nice.
it was, like, solid action there. And, like, they're all three of them are good. So, like, it just, like, had, like, a nice fast pace to it, and they were all doing stuff, and I thought that was pretty good.
Nice.
Escobar accidentally suicide dived Logan Paul. because he was sitting
That's
there.
a shame.
Yeah, that sucks. So yeah, that looked pretty good.
Nice.
And so Money in the Bank match should be good, even though stupid YouTube spoiled me.
Speaking of Money in the Bank, segue,
Yeah.
Palooza, we're going to make some quick predictions about that, even though it's happening right now. But yes, let's make our predictions for this year's WWE Money in the Bank. All right, I was just saying to you that I did do a little bit of thinking about it, didn't write anything down.
That means you're going to cheat.
So, and I'm not going to change any picks. I haven't been spoiled. And I even feel like I'm getting a read off of what you're thinking, but I won't let it, or what you know of terms of spoilers, but I won't let it affect my picks. So what are we starting with?
I'm keeping my pick. So this is, I did this morning, so
Okay.
this is off of nothing. So first up is the women's ladder match, which is Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, don't know how, Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, Io, Sky, and Bailey. So I remember like a couple weeks ago, like sometime after Backlash, I heard WWE's keen on pushing Io after the positive reaction she got.
Right.
And I feel like she could get a push. I don't see much of a solid case.
Nice.
For anyone else. I didn't do that on purpose, but I just amused myself now. So I'll take Io to win because I don't see anyone else winning unless you really want to go to like Zelina or something.
Right.
Zoe Stark.
I
doubt it.
So when I listen to Smart Wrestling Fan Joe Negron says he has access to scripts for WWE, and I actually believe he does. So you know who he said was scripted to win, even though I'm not picking that person? He said the script said Zelina Vega to win initially, but he feels like that might have changed. So
That's dumb.
I think it's Io.
Yeah.
I don't see.
I agree.
A, I think she'll be a standout in a match like this, and B, I think it's her time.
Yeah.
And we need to put some energy
Hey,
behind
there was a time
her.
where she was sick as hell.
Yeah, she was my favorite wrestler in the world of any gender for a while in NXT, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will take Io, but we'll see if it's right that it was Zelina planned.
Next we get Shayna and Ronda versus Raquel and Liv for the women's tags. I could see this going either way, but I feel like Rousey and Baszler should have a dominant run. So
I think that's what it's looking like. I feel like they retain. It doesn't feel like this is the team to derail them. So I agree with you.
Yeah. Next is Gunther versus Matthew Riddle.
I am excited for this match, actually.
I'm super excited for this match. I kept saying Riddle should challenge for the title, and so I'm excited they're doing this.
I just think their styles will be cool together, too.
I do think Riddle deserves the title at some point, but it's just
not
doesn't
happening
feel
today.
like it here.
I agree. Gunther's on a run.
Especially with, I would like Pete Dunne to win the title, which I don't think would happen because it's different brands, but I could also see Drew McIntyre coming back at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Gunther as always.
Who did I hear is dating one of the Imperium? The one with hair. Somebody's dating him.
Ludwig Kaiser. I'll look at his Instagram. So you're taking Gunther?
I am taking Gunther. Because they were saying that he's helped Gunther train and lose weight, and she's gotten in better shape too because of Kaiser, I think.
Okay. I'll scroll his.
Sorry, it just halfway popped into my head. Okay. And I was like, they're dating. I did not know.
Cody versus Dom. So
this one I don't really know. I don't feel strongly.
Don't think I got it right, but I took a Hail Mary and I picked Dom because I thought I'm thinking Brock interferes. He's rumored to come back. And then, so that sets up the third match. And then they can also give Dom a big win while Tainted, still a big win, because they seem to be somewhat keen on Dom.
That all makes a lot of sense. But I think Cody's Cody, and Cody's going to be like, I'm not losing this.
Yeah, I think that's more right. But I thought I'd take a gamble there.
I like it. I'll take Cody. What you say makes sense.
Yeah. Rollins versus Balor. So I think Balor's looks strong in the build up here, and the history between them is great. Balor doesn't feel like the one to dethrone Rollins, and Rollins feels like he's got a lot more in the tank. So
I actually think there's a chance Balor wins because they seem to love Judgment Day right now, but I will take Rollins as well.
Oh, they definitely do love Judgment Day. Mm-hmm.
It's not quite time, but
also good news is the women's Money in the Bank. They can't cash in on the same night because there's no women's title match.
True.
So we can finally break the cycle.
I guess.
Because literally, like I told you, Carmella's the only one to hold the briefcase longer than 24 hours. So we can finally break this. Actually, that's not true. if Ripley has a match tomorrow, we could be in danger.
She was on NXT. I didn't even mention that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not prominently, but she was there.
No, it was a little bit with Mello. So men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Priest, Ricochet, Nakamura, Escobar, Butch, LA Knight, Logan Paul. So in theory, it's the easiest one to pick. There's a clear favorite here. However, I think throwing in Logan Paul potentially throws a wrench in things. Some within are pitching for Paul, as you do. I can see that happening here. However, I know Triple H, and I assume a few others, I would hope, is pushing for LA Knight. He's over his hell right now. He's just the smartest choice. I could see him as a champion in this company because he just fits them perfectly. So I'm going to go with LA Knight because it seems like the best pick.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Logan Paul. I just think that he, like, having him with that case and going around and doing all of the mainstream stuff he does, they are going to love that temptation.
Yeah. But
Logan Paul.
To me, I don't see him successfully cashing in on either of them, though. That's the thing.
It doesn't have to be successful necessarily.
Then that's a waste. That's a waste of Money in the Bank.
But I could see them like, oh, he's going to be doing mainstream stuff and have it on YouTube, and 9 million teenagers are going to see it, and that's amazing for us.
It's going to get a prime case.
I just think they can't resist having a heel that can talk with it, and him the publicity he'll get it. So I'll take Logan Paul.
All right. And finally, Usos versus Roman and Solo. So I took the Usos here. I think they pick up a win here because once it goes to singles matches, Roman's not losing, obviously, until he loses the titles. The tag matches are the only time Roman can lose and like still be fine because theoretically Solo will take the pin. Now, there's a chance Roman could take the pin, actually, because the first person to pin Roman in WWE was, in fact, I believe, Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm. I think I've heard that.
Yeah. And so the Usos are touted as one of the greatest teams they have as well, so I'm going to pick them, and the Bullying Swallows can continue as they see fit. But like I don't see the Usos really losing here. I think this kind of would benefit them a lot.
I'll take the other team just because I'm like, I don't pick against Roman generally. And I feel like Sikoa's been pretty protected too from what I hear, right? So
yeah, maybe he doesn't take the pin then.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'll take Sikoa and Roman Reigns. Just so we got a couple different ones this time.
Yeah. So
sometimes it's like we all agree.
Yeah.
Groupthink, it's hard.
I think
we talk wrestling together all the time.
I threw one on the Dom pick, but that's okay.
We'll see. All right, so you said you did have a little bit of a figure update this week. All right, so let's move into where Jack gives us that update on Figuring It Out with Jack. We cracked the case. It was Tiffany Stratton that's dating Ludwig Kaiser, right?
Indeed.
I believe. So what do you got for us?
That makes sense. Actually, no, it doesn't, because they're not in NXT anymore. I take it back. It's completely illogical. Okay, so there's some like UK wrestling figure shop that had stuff. So there's like a bit of previews, but nothing like super interesting. So there was like the only like really good images for things were Elite 104. So everyone was really happy because AJ Styles is a new torso that's like more ripped than the Daniel Bryan one. So that it's the Sin Cara torso.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but I think that works
funny
better.
That people know.
It actually does look like more like his body type, I think, a little bit, so that's pretty good. And he's got the red attire. The render didn't have knee pads, so thankfully he does have knee pads. I kind of like it. It's nice. But most of the AJ figures have been red lately, so that's weird. Then there's Solo Sikoa, and like I don't know if you can tell, but he's got like the Daniel Bryan torso, so he's way too skinny like that. You can't tell because they covered it a bit, but like he's way too slim.
It looks like it even
and his
from
belly
that.
button's not covered. Like he looks solid with the shirt on, but like he's like there's kind of a better shot. He's way too slim.
Yes, definitely.
These are from Ringside's Instagram. If you guys,
it's more like Roman.
Seen it, yeah. So he's pretty slim. There's McIntyre from Clash of the Castle, which is pretty typical McIntyre, just different gear. Dakota Kai. So she had like leggings, so they did the legs weird. Like I don't like the legs because they're meant to like replicate the leggings, but it looks like off colored. So like, because they did that like on the arms of the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan because they have fishnet, but it's like really small fishnet, so they just like their arms are in like this dark gray, but like it looks weird. It's this weird thing that they started doing with the women's figures. And so there's also Rick Steiner, but there wasn't good images of him for some reason. I thought it'd be canceled because he's transphobe or whatever, but
they apparently aren't going to be using him for the near future at least, because yes, he's a bigoted person.
But the figure's still good apparently. So
right.
But here's the Braun Breakers. Firstly, I think this is like for a debut elite, that's pretty phenomenal looking.
That looks good.
The head scan's nice. I think
really
it's the same
good.
from the basic, and then it's the pink singlet with the numbers look, and they also got the 2.0 NXT title with the
It helps that his
recolor.
physique just kind of looks like an action figure.
Yeah, and
Makes it
it's a
easy.
mold they use. Like I think they use this for like probably Ryback, and like I think no, this might be the Kurt Angle one. I don't know. And then here's the chase variant with like more different colors.
Looks good.
So that one looks really nice, and so that's pretty cool. And then there's speaking of like the Jack figures, where's the
I really, really think they need to put him with Diamond Mine, the Creeds, and bring them up. Not even
That'd be
call them
interesting.
Diamond Mine, just like fit so well.
That'd be interesting. There's a new Braun coming. I think and there's also EO Sky, which looks pretty nice. But the Braun looks pretty nuts because I think the
Cool.
Braun's got a new torso. There's Ultimate Lashley and the what's been dubbed the McDonald's gear.
Yeah, McDonald's makes
funny.
sense.
I like that look.
Ketchup
though.
and mustard.
Nice. And so they showed the next greatest hits Elite wave, which is interesting because so the Bray Wyatt. So this is like re-release waves, right? So like they re-release figures that were like maybe distributed hard or were hard to get or like some good figures or whatever. So there's the natural disasters, which are, do you remember the ones we saw in Walmart like years ago? The natural disasters,
Yes.
the Then Now Forever, at least those ones. They put out those ones again. They're re-releasing the John Nada Roddy Piper, Scorpion King Rock, pre-Barber Brutus Beefcake from Dream Team.
Okay.
Elite 10 R-Truth, so like old R-Truth. Then the Bray Wyatt's interesting because there was years ago there was like back when they did the Epic Moments 2-packs. Remember there was the Hardys one with the ladders that I wanted and I never got.
Yes.
And there was the Shield one that I wanted and I never got with the t-shirts.
So deprived.
And there was
Life is hard.
Then there's the Undisputed Era one that I did get.
Yes.
That I did get, and then there was the Milkomania one.
Yeah, we looked hard for that Undisputed. I think we ordered that ringside.
I think so.
Yeah.
Then I think I saw it at Toys R Us a bunch, so of course that's how the world works. Anyways, they were supposed to do an Ultimate Deletion one with Bray and Matt Hardy, but it got canceled for some reason. I don't remember why. I don't think it was because Matt left. I don't remember the timeline. But anyways, because they released the Matt Hardy in the network spotlight because I think it came with a dilapidated boat and the Vanguard.
Yeah.
But so they're re-releasing the Bray here just with different colored pants. So that's kind of cool. And then the Seth Rollins.
Not Thanos.
No, because so this is a re-release Rollins. So I was saying like greatest hits, you got to do the white Rollins, okay? And they didn't do it the first time because they did the cash-in Rollins. You know the Rollins that I have that's on the chair over there, the one that came with the Money in the Bank briefcase and the title.
Yeah.
And it had the Money in the Bank, the Toys R Us exclusive. They re-released that one, which wasn't a great choice, but I guess that's fine. But so now they're re-releasing Rollins First Elite, the Shield Rollins. That I basically have this figure because it came in that Then Now Forever 3-pack Shield, not the Epic Moments one. That's different. And so this is annoying because I think I saw the one YouTuber guy saying I think it's fair. It's arguably one of his worst elites, and I don't know why anyone would want it because it's an old Shield set.
Right.
It's just got like the updated skin, the double 20 doubles. I was really hoping for another white Rollins, and I thought it'd be cool to like put the kick pads from this Rollins on there because that would look interesting.
And I just randomly found you a Rollins you were looking for.
Yeah, so I guess that's worth mentioning too. We finally found the Elite 99 Rollins I've been after for half a year.
Just randomly in
at
a Walmart.
Walmart that never has stuff. And I also got the Chase variant Boogeyman with the ECW paint. So that's cool. But yeah, this Rollins nice.
And they price dropped them $10, which is crazy.
It was also funny. I was watching because they had the Best of Edge thing, and it was the Hell in a Cell match between Rollins and Edge at Crown Jewel.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
This one. Yeah, it's pretty much similar to, it's the Michael Jackson gear. I don't know if you've ever seen him wear the boots like that, but like,
yeah.
I remember seeing the one random reel of Michael Jackson like performing something, and he was wearing those boots. And I was like, that's that thing.
That's the thing.
I don't think there was anything else. There's I think this is a Build-A-Figure. That's pretty crazy.
Cena?
No, it's Bulldog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeans Bulldog.
And the Virgil, which is pretty crazy because usually when they do Build-A-Figures, it's always like suited looks. Remember, I have the referee Build-A-Figure, but like that's a Build-A-Figure and it looks pretty much exactly like an Elite. So if that's how that's pretty crazy if they can do that because I've heard they've been working on Build-A-Figures that aren't just suited figures.
Yeah.
Also, Ridge Holland and Beth Phoenix.
Nice.
Beth Phoenix is like, it's like her weird mohawk looking hair. It's really weird. Then they did Best of Legends wave, which I think that's Attitude Era Bulldog, right? Like Heart Foundation, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And then they're re-releasing the Honky Tonk Man. Remember, you know how there's those figures in the arcade packaging?
Yes.
They're re-releasing that one. And then they're re-releasing Bruno Sammartino, Terry Funk, and one of the Ultimate Warriors. He has a bunch, so I don't really know.
Nice.
I think that's it. I was hoping there would be more interesting stuff, but I guess it's not one of the big days. We're just kind of waiting for Comic-Con because that'll be
a big release.
That'll
a
be
big
bananas.
dump.
They're going to take a big dump.
A massive dump, as a certain former president would say about illegal ballots that was
Oh,
never proven. But
I wonder
anyways,
who that is.
I can't imagine. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us. We're coming in just under 2.5 hours. That's not
7:30
bad
basically.
for covering a lot of stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to go watch Money in the Bank. We'll definitely talk about it next week on episode 154, along with all the
If
other
I didn't
stuff
do
we
a
always
bonus
do.
episode for Forbidden Door, I can't imagine
No.
doing it for Money in the Bank.
So feel free to contact us if you like, fnswrestling@gmail.com or fns_wrestling_podcast on Instagram. Love to hear from you. Any ideas, praise, feedback, whatever. Be great to hear. We always give a reply. And we'll definitely be back here next Saturday around this time for episode 154. And until then, take care.
Ciao.